The ones that are coming vertical, are they all perpendicular to that straight line? Are they right lines?
What does that have to do with what I'm
That's
asking
not
you?
the question.
It is, because you're saying there's some overlap. Well, maps overlap. Well, there's a bit of each bit of that on each map. Brilliant. What does that mean about shape? Are they, all of those lines, are they perpendicular to each other, or some of them got different angles and not perpendicular? Because I'm saying it's a grid reference system. All the ones going up and down the page are perpendicular to the ones going left to right across the page.
It's not a grid reference system. It will depend on the maps you buy.
Okay.
The ones I use were longitude and latitude,
Okay.
and I used them with GPS for 15 years while outstocking in the ass end of nowhere.
In that picture that you've just shown us, the ones that go left to right and the ones that go up and down the page, there's a series of lines. Are they all perpendicular to each other? The ones that go across to the ones that go up and down?
If
Can you not answer?
if they all needed
No, you
to
can't
overlap,
answer.
they are overlapped
Squares.
because of the distortion in the
Got square
map.
corners
They
on
are
them, haven't
not
they?
over. No.
Right angles, all
You
of it.
cannot have distortion just at the edge of a page covering a curved surface. It would distort all the way across the map, would it not?
It depends on how the reference is actually drawn on
Is it a
each
straight
map.
line?
You muppet.
Are they straight lines? Because if they are, they're on a two-dimensional surface, not a curve, obviously.
And that's why there's distortions, and that's why you need
But
an
where's
overlap
the
in certain
distortion in a
places.
straight line?
Cannot have a distortion just at the edge of a map. It would be distorted all the way across.
I think
What's causing the distortion, Bacon?
I think actually
The
I
fact
think
that
Bev
we
might be
are
right.
living on a
Actually,
globe.
So the curvature of the Earth
that-
is causing the distortion.
I think
Yes.
if you look at this is a thing that converts between
They're all
an
straight lines.
this converts between an OS map on the left and longitude and latitude on the right. There's an explanation there which talks about the longitude and latitude lines being parallel. So if you look on the left, I think I think we can see where the distortion is. Clearly, it's at the from in the unmapped edges.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I don't really deal with that. That's crazy sort of stuff. That you have to start getting into the
just
fact
saying,
that
I don't really deal with that. Is
straight
that's
lines and
not a very
distances
good
between
rebuttal,
them.
Bev, is it?
because they're not straight lines, are they?
Which aren't.
Well, which picture have you posted? Which one you're looking
Well,
at?
actually, neither of them, both of them feature not straight lines. I guess you.
Which ones? So they're not that grid reference system isn't a straight line, is it not?
I don't even know what
Well-
you're saying now.
Well, it's
I
got
don't know.
SF and S, and it's got loads of letters in
Yeah,
a box.
they are straight lines. However,
Right,
at the
okay,
edges,
so they are straight
at
lines.
the
So
edges
that's the
of
grid reference
at the
system
edges
that
of that,
we use.
at the edges of that, you've got two lines which are not parallel to those
Okay.
lines, right?
Brilliant.
That
Okay.
mark out the edges of the area, right?
So they're all straight
Do you
lines,
see
right?
those lines?
They're
Yes.
still straight lines, right?
They are straight, yeah, but
Okay.
they're not parallel.
What, the straight lines up and down the page with those little grid systems?
No, the
They're not
ones that
parallel. They look
no, the
parallel to
ones
me.
we literally just because you were confused before, we just clarified the ones I was talking about. Why
do
are
you mean?
you now? Why in the next sentence are you suddenly confused about
The
which
ones
we're
that
talking about again?
converge are not parallel. Are you
Answer my
telling me?
question. Answer my question. We literally just clarified we were talking about the lines on the edge which are not parallel to the lines that make up the grid. We clarified that point. I explained it. You agreed it. Why in the next sentence did you say, "Oh, do you mean the ones that are making up the grid?" Why did you do that, Bev? Don't talk about the grid. Don't talk about maps. Tell me why you deployed that tactic.
Well,
Because he's dishonest.
I was just saying that the parallel lines, the grid reference uses parallel lines, and then you said that the other one doesn't.
Bacon, can I just ask something really quickly? I won't take anyone's time.
Liar.
I'm just about.
You're just a man lying. That's
I'm
all
just
you're
about
doing.
to go.
Just lying.
Bacon,
Putting
are
on
you
a
here?
ridiculous act.
I can hear you, Mel.
What? Do you mean the ones on that make up the grid?
I was just going to ask, if as a
Fucking
layman,
retarded
like,
cunt.
if I did like a surveyor's course and made it all the way through, had my qualification,
You wouldn't.
and then I went out and started surveying the land and found that there wasn't curvature, what could you see that would be an anomaly? And like, what would I refer to, like, if I start to not detect curvature with surveying equipment? Where does that leave me?
Well, I would question your skill, because the professional people who've done it for 30, 50, 60 years, for 200 years, all disagree with what you're finding. So I would have to suspect that you're doing it wrong.
And again, I point this out almost on a daily basis now. That I understand flat Earth is lacking in substance, but you can't just get to make up the evidence that you wish you had and then get us to argue against that.
That's not what I'm asking.
Done this, Merle, and until you have, there isn't really any point in us engaging with the idea as if it's occurred.
It's not what I'm asking, because I could find I could find a professional surveyor right now. Tomorrow I could call one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Right.
if you discovered this, you could compile your data and present that and become a millionaire as the man that discovered Earth was flat.
You could do that, but it would be like all the other 3,000 experiments of Jeremy this year, a failure, because you're not going to do it.
Right. Quite right. Much better to sit on YouTube and Discord.
Excuse me, you're
games.
You guys are the ones who do that daily. You're hardly qualified to accuse me of something that you are qualified in daily.
No, whoa! Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. Because we don't adopt this absurd epistemology where we only accept things to be true based on our personal experience, and we reject everything else as falsehoods.
Jim,
we don't do that. You do that.
Jim, when have you ever measured the Earth?
You are required to go and do that stuff. We're not.
Jim, when have you ever measured the Earth?
What did Jim just say?
I've literally just made the point that that's a responsibility you have. I don't have that. I accept the evidence from reputable sources. I don't have to go and measure the Earth myself. Other people who are much better at that than I am have already done that for me, and I accept their findings.
So you're lazy.
They let you?
No, I concern myself with the things that concern me, and I accept evidence from reasonable and reputable sources, like we all do, including you.
Well, the difference between me and you, though...
You just pretend that you don't, and it's reasonable not to for this one issue.
The difference between me and you, though, is that I'd go and talk to the Air Force, which I've done, and just to prove you wrong again, I'd be willing to get a surveyor on the phone and pay them money to prove that there isn't any curvature. How about that?
Wait, well, go ahead. Let's see it.
Glad you said that, Merle.
What would be stopping me or anyone in here from doing that?
Nothing. Why haven't you done it? Good question, eh?
You're encouraged to do just that.
Merle, if you're offering to provide money for this test to do that, you said we've been talking about getting the GPS RTK system, okay? In which I'm not a real surveyor, but if I get it in time, I can do tests with Nathan and Whitsett on their tour, so you can be sure that it's not just going to be a Glober doing fudging the data or whatever. But you're free to provide a donation, Mr. Merle.
I mean,
Might have a
I mean,
girl from Eco Show.
just before I leave it, like, you know, I've got some money saved. This is something I could do.
Don't waste
Well,
it.
we've
on
already
this.
done this. We've in a,
Give it
I
to
beg
me.
your pardon?
Just give it to me. That
In
will
a-
be. I promise you, the money will be better spent if you just give it to me. I'll take it to the casino. I'll buy some weed. I'll get like some nice hamburgers and things like that. I'll buy some nice food with it. That will definitely be better spent that way. I promise you.
in a fashion, the Globe Earth has
pipe guy.
In a fashion, Globe Earth has already hired surveyors. We hired Jesse Kozlowski, Larry Scott, and all these fellas, named surveyor. We've given them the parameters with which to test, and they've tested them. So I've got plenty of evidence that satisfies me.
And I'm almost an amateur surveyor.
I mean, you got to admit, it would be interesting if all the surveyors of the Earth start to realise that this is, say, a question outside of this room, and they all put
And
the
what if
surveying
they
equipment to the
discovered
test.
that looking in their Seattle lights, they're actually looking in the rectum of a unicorn?
We assume that all this has been done already. We just assume that they've written it in
We don't have to
books.
assume it. The results are published. We have maps that work based on them.
That don't work on a flat Earth.
And it's not just outside or inside this room, Merle. Jesse Kozlowski is a very reputable geodetic surveyor here in the States with hours of measurements and demonstrations showing how, well, it's not fucking flat.
Yeah, he said it's measurable, right? Jim's been defending that all day. He said he never would do that. I mean, you've just quoted him.
That's actually not true, is it?
So that's meant to be right.
I've stated, this will be now the 9th time that I specifically said I had not brought Jesse Kozlowski into this conversation, and I specifically did not want to include him in this conversation. So I have not been saying that all afternoon.
That's what I said. Patrick's done what you didn't want to.
You just made that up.
Okay, well, I just got here and didn't hear Jim say that prior. Hey, motherfucker, I just got here and did not hear that Jim didn't want to bring him into it. That's my fucking problem and not Jim's.
And it's just that Bev uses he uses it to drag the conversation into a corner just about Jesse Kozlowski.
No, he said it was measurable. He was the one who said a reputable.
And not about the practice itself. So that's why I'd said that. That was the thing. But if Pure wants to talk about, I haven't got any problem with Jesse Kozlowski. I said that. I've met him. He's a nice guy. I've met him online, and I really liked his work before I met him. I thought his videos, especially the one he did on the history of geodetic surveying, which he actually took down for some reason, I really liked it. I thought,
I wonder why that was. Yeah,
I don't know. I can't remember. He did tell me the reason. There was
it'd be nice to watch.
There was something in it that shouldn't have been in it. I think some image that shouldn't have been there or something. You know, like a copyright thing. You know,
he wouldn't have been doxing anybody or anything like that.
What?
You can cut the bits out. You know. I was just saying that I come back. I've been out having a word with the missus, but come back to Patrick saying that Jesse was a reputable.
It's reputable.
Yeah. Well, like I say, all that Jesse said that it's measurable. The drop of the water level from horizontal. So
right. So you think that makes him not reputable? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Like, how do we measure a horizontal?
What do you fucking know, Ben?
You reference the vertical.
Very much. Sorry.
I mean, you said there was a sagitta before, but I mean that would imply a hump. But a drop from horizontal is like a constant drop.
But if the drop from horizontal is obvious, you've never been in an airplane.
Well, yeah, as you gain vertical height, there is a increased distance between you. Call it an altitude. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, on a flat Earth, the horizon would not drop; it would stay at eye level. The way that flat Earthers promote the idea.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Bev.
Cool.
Bev, I know you're probably not aware of this, but we're actually planning to do a test that is going to easily display the drop from the horizontal.
Wow, easily? What's your method?
We're going to create a straight line using accurate GPS RTK system.
What sort of straight line?
I just told you.
A straight line on a curve that curves. One of those curved straight lines.
A straight line, like a straight line, like a
straight line independent of the curve.
Like a straight line left to right.
Like 2 points in 3D space, and a straight line that infinitely intersects both those points.
Yeah. Check it as a straight line because it'd have to have 3 coplanar points. Right?
Straight lines only have to have 2 points. What are you talking about?
I know, but in order to make sure it's straight, you check the third coplanar point, and if it's also on that same line, right? It's a straight line.
We plan to test the tools and make sure that by doing it exactly like you said. Yeah, make a straight line and then find a third point.
I love it. Prove that a line is straight using Euclidean principles, propositions. Yeah, fantastic. I love it. I'm right on board with that.
And with all due
measure the drop of the Earth from that horizontal. In the definition of a sphere.
With all due respect, like me standing alongside a surveyor and the surveyor explaining to me how he's measuring drop and curvature and all those things and showing me exactly how he's doing that or her. Like, I mean, isn't this about the truth and reality? I mean,
you should try it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see what the big deal is.
Everybody knows, Mel, that the water level doesn't drop over distance. It's a
I've observed it. I don't know.
Even
No, it does.
Right?
No, everyone doesn't know that, Bill. That's what you think.
Everyone doesn't know that the water level doesn't drop. It's an even altitude at each end.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, you still don't understand this, huh?
No, he does.
You don't understand the proposed model.
Little act.
Your proposed
pretending he doesn't get this, and he's
tell us your proposed model then of a water level.
Confusing elevation and curvature again.
No, even altitude.
Trying to play a silly word game where people are talking about one and he's talking about the other.
About an even altitude?
Really
what is it you don't understand?
I don't understand why you want to play these childish games.
What childish game? Using the word even altitude. What's up with that?
The childish game you just tried to pull off, where you tried to make people think you're talking about elevation when you're actually talking about curvature, or the other way around.
Talking about an even altitude. Which one do you think I'm talking about? Are you getting confused? Because I'm talking about even altitude established by a tool called a level.
I'm not confused. You are trying to confuse people, and you're doing it with doublespeak.
I'm just using the same words all the time, Jeff.
I'm pointing out in the same words to mean two different things.
No, you're obviously thinking two different things.
I'm
what are the two
pointing out
things that you think it means.
I'm pointing out that you're doing that, and it's
doing
silly.
What, Jem? What does that mean?
Okay, I'll have to mute you because I've just explained to you doing what. I've told you what you were doing. I've said it twice. So don't ask me doing what. Playing this silly word game is what?
What does even altitude mean to you, Jem?
I'm not going to play the silly word game, Bev.
Well, you're saying there's two different meanings.
Don't you get it? I've noticed the silly word game. I've reprimanded you for playing the silly word game. At the end of that reprimand, there is no point in trying to get me to play the silly word game. It's not going to happen.
Can I ask everybody else?
Does anybody else want to play his silly word game?
Yeah, I want everybody else to tell me what the two different meanings are, please.
Be aware he is trying to confuse elevation and curvature.
Even altitude. What does it mean?
He's trying to trick you into thinking you're talking about one when you're talking about the other.
Even altitude, everyone. What are you talking about?
He's very transparent.
Isn't he? I mean, he's just shit at it. Mm-hmm. That's why I get so angry, because I feel insulted.
Wow.
You know, it's like he thinks that we're stupid enough for him to get away with this.
You think everybody else is stupid enough to believe that you've got two different meanings for even altitude. And I don't know what you're talking about.
Guys,
There's
are we
only
honestly
one
still
meaning,
talking
surely.
about this like 3 hours ago? We were also
Well,
talking
We're
about
talking about elevation, Bev, and we're talking about curvature.
God damn it.
These are two different things.
I mean, no offense, Jem. Like, are you gonna sit there and say that this question is beyond questioning the shape of the Earth, and everyone who's interested in and you're going to sit there and make out that, like, it's all been done and dusted.
Pretty much, Mel. But
you're
if
the
you want to
expert on the
question it,
subject.
if you want to question it, that's fine. But just do it in a bit more of an honest way. I don't even demand that you're honest, because you're all fucking dishonest anyway. But this that he's doing is just ridiculous. It's an
And
act.
anybody can come and see the proof. And I'll explain all of this stuff. I mean, obviously, Jem doesn't know what he's talking about. He says there's two different meanings.
I know a bullshitter
I
when
can
I
show
hear
you.
one,
I can
mate.
show you practically.
I know a
what it
bullshitter when I
means,
hear one.
and
And you're
even
a bullshitter.
altitude. Two established points of an even altitude.
If Bev's a bullshitter, you're a bullshitter, Jem.
If you like, Mel.
I mean, it's gone on years, mate. Like, come on.
That's a good pun.
Don't mug me off.
Good pun.
I mean, some of us have been around long enough. We've heard the long and short of it, the bullshit, the inside out, the upside down, the top, the bottom. I mean, where do you go from there?
The back and the front.
Jem just discriminated against us and said we're all liars. That's not okay, Jem.
Look in the mirror, Merle. Since you got back,
you're a
you've done
cheerful
nothing
and friendly liar, Jeremy. But
what have I lied about?
Jem, you're meant to run a debate server, aren't you?
Yeah. I won't say lied then, but I will say
you've already said it, Jem.
You have to at least deploy some intellectual dishonesty.
I'll fucking say it. He's a pathological liar. Like I didn't realize the extent to which he is prepared to lie until this morning, until he did it for a good 2 or 3 hours. Fucking staggering.
Okay, again.
Jeremy.
No, Bev.
Bev, can I just ask the room, because the thing of redefining what flat Earth means. What flat Earth?
Oh, Bev doesn't even want to talk about flat Earth, do you, Bev? That's not even.
People can talk about whatever they want, Jem.
Yeah, but I asked you. My question was about what you wanted to talk about.
What? Seriously, you wanted to talk about what I wanted to talk about. I don't think that's right, Jem.
I asked you a question about what you wanted to talk about. Relating to what you wanted to talk about.
Just level is horizontal, right?
But just to come back to that point, just for one more second, it would be intellectually dishonest to stand upon a straw man, would it not? Or alongside one. Like, how can you claim a model you haven't even confirmed? Like, has anyone seen the dome or the ice wall or a pizza dish in space? Has anyone...
He's talking about the other model, the flat Earth model.
Oh, that
I couldn't do that, Mel.
So how can you call yourself a flat earther?
He doesn't.
No, I'm just saying to anyone. How can anyone call himself a... You have a straw man model and propaganda and memes to begin with.
Yeah, flat is 2D. Listen, I'll say it again. Flat is 2D and elevation measured changing the vertical. That's 3D.
Yeah,
right? That disproves the flat.
That's not
now,
what
if you want to say flat is lumpy and bumpy and curvy, then hey, you're going to say that anyway. I'm fine with that.
Let's focus on what Merle said, though. Okay.
You want to be a flat earther, you can. I'm not saying it's you. Call yourself whatever you want. I just say
Merle,
I'm not.
Sure, Merle. It's not a straw man model. It's a model that flat earthers have put forward as a model of the Earth. So straw man would be if we suggested to y'all and said this is the Earth that you guys are arguing for. But all the flat Earth depictions or
Yeah,
whatever
the ball
have been
you
presented
defend.
by
The ball
flat
you
earth.
defend. Yeah, the ball you defend. Yeah. Straw man. It doesn't match reality. That's your problem.
How do you know that? How do you know that, Cleary?
You think anything on this earth that you observe tells you you're on a spinning ball? Have you ever seen a body of water at rest?
Yes, I do think that.
Yep.
Yes.
Have you ever
I do
seen a
think that.
body of water at rest?
Lots of things say that.
Have you ever seen a body of water at rest?
Two celestial poles. Position of the Polaris above the horizon.
Go on.
Sunrise.
Have you ever seen a body of water at rest?
Pictures from space.
Oh, you're not in motion. Thank you.
Satellites, GPS.
We've seen
plenty of things here tell us that we're living on an oblate spheroid, not a ball, an oblate
You believe
spheroid.
you have a downward vector of gravity, right? It provides no lateral stability for a body of water at rest.
But I know that to be true. Yes, I know that.
Not a belief.
Yeah,
Right.
downward is to the center of mass. So
Perpendicular to the surface, right?
The water that you're
Force
talking about at
normal.
rest, all right, at all points of the water, or like if there's a body of water completely at rest, all points of that water, they would be equidistant from the
Normal
Yeah,
to
why don't
the
you,
plumb line.
yeah, why don't you take a pot of water and try to move it slowly, see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, like on a
Would
ship.
move it
Like on a
slowly, Cleary.
Yeah, you got that
Airplane?
downward vector of gravity, right? Move it at a
Yeah,
constant
like on an
velocity
airplane.
without
Like you have a cup of
acceleration.
water sitting on your table on an airplane. It's moving very fast.
Yeah, how does that go? How does that
It's
work
fine.
out?
It sits there fine.
It's illustrating the limitations of your concept.
Nah, you guys haven't flown apparently.
Well, you think people can't have a drink on a table on a plane? Is that what you're claiming, Cleary?
Does it act perpendicular to the surface of water?
Soda just flies out of the cup into my face when I lift it up.
Yeah.
When I leave it there on the
So you're
tray.
moving at a straight line, constant velocity.
You're being too violent with it, dear boy. You should control yourself more.
Yeah. The Newton's first law of motion is a constant velocity in a straight line. You're not moving in a straight line on a spinning ball, are you?
No, that's not his first law of motion.
You sure that's not a straight line, though? Think carefully.
And your point.
What, you mean a straight line as it goes around a gentle curve?
Yeah, objects on the surface
A
of the
curved
sphere.
line.
Objects on the surface of a sphere are experiencing forces. So I don't know what you were getting at. If you have a cup of water, if you have a cup of water on the
Straight
surface,
line.
if you have a cup of water on the surface of the Earth at the equator, and one north of the equator, anywhere, they're going to be experiencing different centrifugal forces. So
Yeah, the
Yeah,
way
your tangential vectors of centrifugal force on a spinning ball would be moving in infinite directions, right? But you say you're on a plane, you got a little body of water right there at rest, but you're moving at a constant velocity in a straight line, which you're not doing on the surface of your spinning ball. That's just logic.
well, it's actually not logic, and it's not math, and it's not science. What you just said about centrifugal force acting in infinite directions.
Yeah,
This is
infinite
no.
tangential vectors, yeah.
Yeah, that's not correct, man. Whenever you're defining, when you're describing the centrifugal force, you're going to describe it in reference to the direction of the rotation in the center.
Right.
Of,
You ever watch the slow mo guys with a wet tennis ball? You watch slow mo guys spinning a wet tennis ball.
Yeah.
You see those.
Hey, Clary, why don't you let him fucking finish, dude? Instead of
Oh, okay, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
Because
you're just being rude, and you brought up
is a tactic that they have to deploy when they
trying
come
to
off
explain.
when people are refusing to play their silly word game. But go ahead.
I'm trying to explain to him because he didn't understand. So I tried to explain to him again. Then Dad jumped in and told me to shut up.
No, I said, why don't you let him finish? Because the last 4 words of his sentence wasn't the beginning of yours.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead. Ask the question. Go ahead, Cleary. Ask the question again. Then.
Well, everybody's seen, I don't know if you've seen the slow-mo guys with the wet tennis ball spinning. You can see how the water spins off due to centrifugal force, not centrifugal force.
And how slow do you think you'd have to spin that ball to make the same?
Hang on. Let him finish his question.
All right.
So you see those tangential vectors of velocity spinning off there, right? Because you have to have a straight line to have a constant velocity, right? On your spinning ball, you got forces that you can't control. You know, you can't even demonstrate these forces that should exist. Now, you say you've got a ball that's spinning on 15 degrees per hour. I mean, if you had a train on the surface of the equator, you'd have to be going 1,000 miles per hour to maintain your position relative to the sun, right?
Yeah, we can explain everything you just said once again.
Yeah, you got to explain.
It's all accounted for. And the centrifugal force that would be doing that to that fucking tennis ball, that's the same force that gives the objects at the equator less weight than north of the equator. The only difference is that it's a magnitude so much smaller than what's going on in that ball that you're not going to experience it flinging off of it. You're just experiencing it weighing less.
And that's because planet Earth rotates very slowly.
Yeah, that's what I just told you, man. You'd have to be in 1,000 mile per hour train at the equator on your ball.
No, it's been converted to 1,000 miles an hour. It's rotating once a day.
Yeah, once in 24 hours, Cleary. So you can say, listen, you can say 1,000 miles an hour as many times as you like because it sounds really fast.
It's not real.
But listen,
it's not there. It's zero.
Guys, one rotation in 24 hours. Okay?
Try to think about, listen very closely to what I'm saying. Your downward vector of gravity does not provide lateral stability for an object that's not moving in a linear path at a constant velocity. You can't account for that with your model.
What does that mean?
Your model is broken.
Does anybody know what that meant?
Yeah, that made perfect sense, Jem. Why don't you understand that?
Because it didn't make sense.
He's talking about hydrostatic pressure, surely. You don't get that?
Is he? I have no idea what he's
talking
about. Absolutely. Sucking dick to get on mic, man.
You're eating on mic, man.
Wrecked you,
You're eating on mic, Bev.
No, hydrostatic pressure has nothing to do with centrifugal force.
He's wrecked me apparently because I didn't know what the fuck he was saying.
So
that means he's wrecked me.
So I just did
hydrostatic pressure, right? Equal elevation, equal altitude, equal pressure along that horizontal water surface.
So by the way, to get the same acceleration on the surface of a tennis ball as you have on the surface of the Earth, you have to spin the tennis ball at 9.6 RPM. That's one revolution every 6 seconds, roughly.
No. The REM speed, you'd have to travel around the equator at 1,000 miles per hour to maintain your position relative
the
to
REM
the sun.
speed. The REM speed doesn't dictate the REM speed does not dictate how much acceleration is experienced. Okay, it's a combination of the angular speed. It's a combination of the.
Why do you deny what I say about the 1,000 mile per hour train? You know it's true. You can deny it.
Wait. What did you say about the 1,000 mile per hour train? I didn't hear you.
If you're on your fake model ball or spinning around 24 hours a day, right? You've got to maintain your position relative to the sun by getting, let's say, in a train on the equator at 1,000 miles per hour. That's your REM speed. Don't pretend that it's slow.
What's the formula? What's the formula for the centrifugal force? Impress us all.
What the fuck? Who cares?
You should care. This is what you're talking about, man. This is the force that flings things away from the ball.
What's your formula for your centripetal force?
Yeah, the centrifugal force. The formula is the mass times the angular velocity squared. The angular velocity.
Not about math now.
Rim velocity.
Wow, I gotta save myself here. Yeah, good job.
Right. So the angular velocity is not a rim velocity. Angular velocity is going to be something like RPMs, right? It's not going to be something like miles per hour.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to try.
No, you can't. You actually can't do whatever you want. You can't do whatever you want because if you use the wrong thing, you're not going to get an answer that makes sense. This is how you calculate centrifugal force.
Whatever. If math helps you with your fantasy world, that's fine.
I think conversely, you have to do whatever you like to make it fit to your model.
Yeah, Howard, you're the only truck driver I know that thinks they're on a ball. You got to give me a damn break. Have you not traveled up and down the mountains out there carrying 80,000 pounds? You really think you're on a ball spinning? You got to be out of your mind.
Oh my God! Wait, guys, but Cleary's incredulous. Maybe we've got it wrong. If he's incredulous, I don't think we've considered this. We hadn't considered your incredulity up till now, Cleary. I'm sorry. We're going to need some time. We're going to need some time to take this in.
Twitter used to use that word a lot, Joe.
What, a moron disagrees with the common understanding of the world? Oh, yeah, I'm going
Don't talk about Jem like that. He gets really upset.
Let me clarify for you. No, I'm talking about you and Clue.
Hey, Howard, do you know when you're going down a hill? Do you know when you're going up a hill in your big truck carrying 80,000 pounds?
Going up and down straight lines too.
Oh, has he told everyone he's doing the test as well? He's doing his water level. He's having it
100
himself,
meters.
Howard.
100 meters.
You told him?
Jem,
That'd be great. There's loads of them doing it, having a go now.
Jem.
As you're driving.
Yeah.
I got a message from Dell.
From Dell?
Yep.
What did it say?
He said flapping your gums in Discord isn't going to help you.
Why are you interrupting me, Merle? I was
Gonna help me. What do I need help? What does he think I need help with?
Looking smart at the minute, Jem.
Looking smart?
Yeah.
No, I look rough as shit.
Yeah, obviously. You've been defending bendy straight lines all morning, triangles with more than
Never
180 degrees.
mentioned any such thing, did I? Never mentioned that at all.
Yeah, you have. You have mentioned triangles with more
When
than
did I say
180
bendy straight
degrees.
lines? When did I say that?
When you said about triangles with more than 180 degrees.
Here, buddy.
Do you not realise that?
I actually haven't talked about that today.
No, he hasn't.
Oh, in the past, you have, though, definitely, right?
Come here.
Yeah, but you just said we talked about it all morning, is what you just said.
Well, that's what we've been doing here, right? We've been going down to the basics.
No, we've just agreed that
Yeah.
isn't what we've been doing, and that's something I said in the
First
past.
principles, that's what all we've been doing, trying to establish a baseline for us to start off from.
His memory's going. Must be what it is.
Seems a little bit hard for us to
Nada
start as
than a bag
a
of
common
beans,
ground to work,
isn't it?
Work forward
Nada
from.
than a bag of bees.
Oh, he is completely hat stacked.
Perhaps it's just a bit too basic for you guys, right?
says the man who doesn't believe in spherical geometry. Righto.
Two-dimensional surface
He
of a
doesn't
sphere
seem
is
to
fucking
believe in
ridiculous,
three
dude.
dimensions
Absolutely
at all,
ridiculous.
from what I can gather.
We live in 3 dimensions, Jim.
Gosh, don't
Oh,
tell
you
him
do
about
believe
the
in
fourth bit.
X, Y, Z, I can tell you, I can show you how we use it in surveying to measure an
Oh.
elevation change.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No curvature, no curvature, just an elevation change. You're only measuring distance from one point to another. That's got to be a straight line, right? You can't.
You're extraordinarily tedious.
Can't get a curve between
You,
two points.
you,
really
you have
are.
no idea.
It's got to be a mental illness, hasn't it? Nobody would normally do this. Do you know anyone else?
Gaslight away, guys.
Let's check. Bev, do you know anyone that just talks about like one subject constantly, like in the way that you do, like this?
Like you guys talk about flat Earth all the time.
No,
like
we talk about all sorts of different things. We talk about food and football and all sorts of things. We do it today.
Brilliant.
We talk about all sorts of things. So,
Women, politics.
so do you know anyone that does what you do?
Irritating.
That does what I do. No, I'm
Yeah.
complete individual. Absolutely.
That's right. So it is abnormal.
Do you know anybody
behaviour.
that's like you, Jem?
So I know people that have roughly the same, manner of behaviour in public. Yeah.
You know anyone that's got a Discord server that proposes to be a debate server that gets triggered at people?
No, but that's a very, very specific thing. We're talking about general behaviour, aren't we? We're not. Of course. You look different to me and drive a different car or whatever it may be. Live in a different place. Of course, we are individuals, but
established.
But most people conform to certain social norms, and I'm just wondering if you know anyone who doesn't conform to the social norm of conversation in the same way that you don't.
What, speaking pure logic? I don't know. I really don't know. I've always thought I was a bit different.
No, not that. Obsessing,
sort of asking questions that people
talking
get
about
triggered
the
at.
same thing over and over again, pretending you don't understand things that you clearly do understand.
No, I'm just trying to clarify, Jem.
And only having one subject of conversation. Do you know
we have
anyone?
Loads of subjects of conversation.
Do you know anyone that? Do you know anyone that does that? And if you don't,
who do you think? Who do you think that does that, Jem?
Would it be right to consider your behaviour as normal?
Who do you think does that, Jem?
And if it's abnormal, should we consider some action that
it sounds like you're talking about something you know very well, Jem.
That you should take in order to.
You may even be, can I say projecting? I don't want to say projecting. I mean,
what? We're talking about your behaviour, aren't we?
You know what I'm like, do you? All the time. Do you imagine yourself with me 24/7, Jem?
Well,
I've heard you in the last 4 or 5 hours while you've been in here, and on all the other occasions, and on all the.
You sound like a shouty, angry man.
And on all the hangouts.
Is that what you're always like?
And on all the hangouts and things that you've. And on all the hangouts and things that you've done. Yes, because I'm with another adult who's constantly interrupting me, who's badgering away in the background all the time, deliberately trying to make me angry, and then saying, "Ha ha, you're
talking
angry.
about straight lines.
You're angry. You're the weird one because I've been trying to make you angry for 4 hours, and now you're angry."
Which one makes you angry?
Now, why are you talking? Why are you talking? Why?
Is that me talking makes you angry then?
No, it's just talking while he was still talking.
Yes, it does. It does make me angry if you talk when I'm talking. Because that again is not a conversation.
Wow, that's a nice
it's not. It doesn't comply with the. It doesn't comply with the social norm of a conversation, does it? That's my point.
Bev, can I ask you a question that you can respond to, as long as you respond to the question, actually? But other than this thing that you always talk about, which is what Jem is describing, you always talk about flat, horizontal and level and that sort of shit. Is there any other aspect of flat Earth, the way in which we colloquially use flat Earth? I don't want you to talk about the Earth not being flat and being bumpy or whatever. I'm saying, is there any other aspect about the flat Earth that compels you to not believe in the globe, other than the flat and level and horizontal thing?
Yeah, the main one is the reaction of the trolls to truths that are spoken, right?
Right. What about a real answer, man?
No, seriously, I'm telling you, that's how I came in. I came in looking for why people consider people that say truth.
I'm not gonna be triggered.
Why are you telling me I'm not gonna be triggered? Don't ask me a question.
Because you're making
and then not want the response.
You didn't get on Fight the Flat Earths and have him tell you you're a child abuser because you were on the fence on this issue and you hadn't and you were just looking at things.
Because
did you? You already had a position. You already had a position before that was said to you. So pretending that you adopted this position because that was said to you is just another lie.
You're proving why I'm here, Jamie. It's fascinating.
I didn't ask you why you were here, though, man.
It's fascinating that you lie to a room full of adults and they point out your lie angrily.
Jem, if you let me, how can I lie if you don't let me finish what I'm saying? Ask me a question and then telling me I'm lying about it before I've even answered.
Don't be fascinated by this, Bev. This is normal behaviour. When you lie to a room full of adults, people should be angry with you.
Bev, just answer the question in a way that's an actual answer to it, not just the people. I'm asking you, what about the flat Earth compels you to believe in it? Not the people who argue against it. That's not what I asked you. I'm asking you legitimately about the flat Earth itself, about the Earth, other than the flat is horizontal and all that kind of bullshit, and level is horizontal. I'm asking you about the flat Earth. Was there any other details about the flat Earth that compel you? Because you only talk about that one thing.
Flat Earth's a ridiculousness when people get triggered by it. I'm fascinated by the mental positions that people have been put in. Fascinated by it. I think everyone should be.
So you're not capable of talking about any other aspect of the flat Earth other than the level.
I'll say again, flat is 2D. It's observably not 2D.
Yeah, I'll say again. I'm not talking about that, Bev. I already assumed you were going to go that route.
Talking about
I've already said I'm talking colloquially. I'm talking about the thing everyone believes in. I'm not talking about it being flat.
Colloquially, around here, flat is 2D.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that, Bev. I've stated
Well,
that
I am. I'm
clearly.
talking about
I've
my
stated that
colloquial use of flat as
I don't
being
care.
a two-dimensional surface.
Yes, I've already stated that. I'm not talking about that, Bev. I'm not talking about it being flat versus being bubbly. I'm talking about the globe.
Kosha, why don't you just answer the question for him?
Way.
You don't like his answer, make up your own answer and believe it. Dad gave you an answer. What's your problem?
You didn't give an answer. I'll show you by you answering the same question. What other than flat and what other than horizontal and being level? What else about the flat Earth compels you to believe that it's not a globe?
I've already told you. Hydrostatic equilibrium. Water at rest.
Okay, see, there you go. That's an answer, and that's your proof that he did answer my question. Okay?
Well, that was
an
my
actual
answer. You want to make up an answer for me? Make it up. I mean, shit. You don't like Bev's answer too bad?
He didn't give it. What was Bev's answer, buddy?
He said that he's fascinated by the effect. Like right now, you're triggered for no fucking reason.
That has nothing to do with the flat Earth.
Kosho, you're triggered, Kosho. You're triggered, mate.
Can I ask the question?
We should be triggered. We should be triggered. We've got adults in here acting like children and lying. We should be triggered. And trying to pass themselves off as normal adults. We should be triggered by that.
Trying to pass themselves off as normal adults.
Yeah.
Jen.
Yeah. What, Bev?
Yeah. This is a debate server, right?
Yeah, but Bev, you're not responding to anything.
You're not debating.
But he gave an answer. Hang on.
Pretending you don't understand what you're being asked.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Slithering around, trying not to respond to what's being said to you.
Man. Can I not get a word in here? He actually gave
reverting back to your retarded word game at any opportunity. Getting bailed out by Cleary when
Jem, calm down, man. You'll do yourself an injury.
I'm fine. You don't have to worry about my health. I'm fine.
Right. Okay, right. Now let me just get this word in. Yeah, look, Bev gave a good answer to the axial rotation of the Earth and the motion that is of
to
most
the what?
important.
I didn't talk about any axial rotation of anything.
Let Jen finish.
What are you talking about?
No chance of him talking about anything other than level and horizontal, is there?
Sorry, Bev, I might have mixed you up with someone else then, but
yeah, I think you must have done.
Reply. I do apologise. Someone was giving a good reply to the lack of axial rotation, and he was asked about a formula, and basically it's the formula.
Holy Jesus Christ! So he's going to say it again.
Linear speed is what's most important because the guy on the outside.
It's a straight line, linear, right? Dead straight line.
No, the person you're accusing of saying it and saying they gave a good explanation. Well, you don't even know who did it. Any point after that is not.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's fine. It wasn't Bev that was talking. It was somebody else who was talking, but it's fine.
Yeah, but I made a mistake there, so I did apologise to Bev if I've involved him in that. And I apologise, but the person who was speaking gave a good answer because when you look at a rotating circle or a merry-go-round, roundabout, the person on the outside of the most extreme outer edge is the one that has to do the most speed because he's got a greater radius to cover.
You're right.
And if you're including, when you're on a spinning globe, when you're on a spinning globe at 1,036 miles an hour at the equator, you're going to be thrown off.
Yeah, if you're talking about the if you're including the distance, you can include the distance. If you're talking about a linear speed, you can include the radius, and you'll get the correct centrifugal force. The radius from the axis of rotation. That's right.
I posted that formula at 36 minutes past the hour.
Yeah. So when you include when you're using the 1,000 miles per hour, you then have to use the radius from the center of rotation, which is about 4,000 miles. So include that in your calculation.
Hang on a second. You've got it all wrong because at 4,000 miles, you're hardly moving. You're not moving. The thing is,
right.
There you go.
You've got it. Now you've got it.
Got the right answer.
That's why you dumbasses use angular because you know linear kills your model.
You would be hardly moving. You would be hardly moving in the center. But if you are
shit, Sherlock, that's why. Yeah, one rotation every 24 hours. That's
24,000 miles.
796 RPMs. Congrats.
24,000 miles a day.
So here's what it is. It's what it is. What it is. Jen, shut up, Jen. It's what it is 0.000694 RPMs.
No, it's
Well,
not.
actually
It's
fast.
1,000. It's 1,036 miles per hour.
That's right.
That's the speed.
That's it.
Thank you. That's the speed, right?
And
That's
now,
the speed.
now,
and you're not.
now do the next step, Jin, which I want you to calculate the centrifugal force of an object that large
Calculate it
rotating
yourself.
at that
It's your fake ass
speed,
model.
and then work out whether it would throw you off. Because I'll tell you now,
Okay,
having done it in the
hang on a
past,
second.
it
Let's
won't.
have a look at that. Let me have a look at that. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me come back to you in a couple of,
Hey,
couple of
Jen.
minutes. Hang on a sec, because it would throw you off, without a doubt. I know that.
Oh no! What about
Don't.
that stuff that sticks
I'm
water
let me
to
ask
it?
you something.
challenge that statement.
Don't
Jin,
forget to add that sticky
wholeheartedly.
water stuff.
So,
That's right,
so,
that's right,
wait,
Bev.
so
What happens when you do
in
that,
what
Bev?
in what industry, Jen, does anybody ever calculate the RPMs of an object and say it's miles per hour and that's what it is?
No, that would, you see, when we're talking about linear forces, you're going to be dealing with that. If you're talking about RPM, like an inside, hang on a second, please.
So you're not answering when we're referencing
He just got the answer
speed
again, all on
of
his own.
something.
So,
have you ever got a
no
speeding
point,
ticket
because
for
you're
your
not fucking
RPM?
listening. I cannot talk because you're
Jen,
talking.
be brief, Jen, but no.
I heard what you said.
You're traveling
I heard what you
arcs
said. I
as
tried to
well,
answer,
all the
but I
time.
couldn't.
Always have traveling arcs.
Bev, it's Jen's turn to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hey, Jeremy, you're not going around a roundabout, or you're not spinning on one axis when you're traveling forward like that. So, and neither is your axles, neither is your transmission, neither is the fucking Earth.
I don't know why you
The
addressed
Earth
me.
is
I didn't say
rotating.
that. I didn't say that. I don't know why you said my name.
It was Jin talking, not Jeremy.
I got
and
muted for no reason because I started to talk. See how Druss stopped talking there because we were both talking at the same time? I got muted because the other person didn't stop talking.
That's because I've got mad props for you, Jeremy, and I try not to overtalk you.
Okay, so
Thank you,
well,
Brett.
whoever said, do you get a speeding ticket? When we're talking
Oh, that was
about
me. I said, you ever got a speeding ticket for your rotation?
Yeah.
For your
So,
RPMs, you can calculate your RPMs to
well, very quickly to Jin, I just wanted to say one thing is, can you use your linear speed to calculate your centrifugal force?
You can if you include the radius of the axis rotation.
Yeah.
If you
sending
the radius of the axis rotation.
I'm sending you the formula. I'm sending you the formula. There you go.
Look
Look
at
at it.
the radius. Yeah, if you include the radius to the axis rotation, which is divided by, which means you're going to divide by.
There you go.
4,000 miles.
Right. So basically, when you're talking about the linear speed, when you're on the surface of the Earth, supposedly spinning at 1,036 miles an hour at the equator, you're definitely going to feel it. Even at 500 miles an hour, 600 miles an hour, you're going to be thrown off. And that's the motion that I am most concerned with.
Nick has just posted. Yeah, Nick's just posted the formula filled out. Right, he's showing you that the answers to both to the formula, either way you point it, it's going to give you 2.4 newtons, which is about a third.
Hey, Kosha.
Which is about a third of the.
Kosha, do you think the club
third of a percent of its downward
That's all
weight?
bullshit. That's not
Sorry,
really
Kosha, I
relevant.
I didn't hear the end of your
you think the
statement
clubhead
because
speed-
someone just overtalked you. Could you just fill that in again? Because I wanted to hear the end of it.
Yeah, Kosha, do you think the clubhead speed of a 9-iron is slower than the clubhead speed of a driver?
All right, so what Nick had just posted
Yeah,
was
that's
the
based
equations.
on the radius.
Right, the equations, which tell you that 2.4 newtons, which is I think the weight that he's using, the mass is 75, maybe grams, maybe pounds, who knows what it is.
It's kilograms, yeah.
Kilograms. So that means that the downward or the upward force is going to be 2.4 newtons.
Yeah, can I just quickly speak on it if that's possible? So like whichever formula you use, whether you use the tangential velocity or the angular velocity, they both come out to exactly the same answer. And I think some flat earthers are giving us this idea that if you do the tangential velocity, it's massive. But actually they come out to exactly the same answer.
Massive. It's massive.
And why don't you correct my calculation and show me where it should be massive?
Let me do one better for you. Why don't we just do a thought experiment? Yeah, you're on a children's merry-go-round, okay, and you're the dad pushing your little child on the merry-go-round. You ask your child to stand right in the middle, he or she can stand there no problem. Then you put them on the very edge and you're going as fast as you can. And you'll see they're trying their hardest to hang on. So clearly,
you're a very cool father, Jen.
Why
do you do this to your children?
Right. Okay, clearly your child will be hanging on for dear life.
You're gonna hurt them, Jen.
Okay.
Stop flinging your children
Here's
around
Curved adding
wildly.
nothing to the conversation again. Curved,
Hey, I am adding, Rakia, just because you don't realize
crying
it.
like a bitch.
Doesn't mean I'm not adding. And you quit detracting, Rakia. Jen, stop abusing your children like this. They're gonna get hurt.
He just can't wait to talk about children. He cannot wait to talk about children.
Yeah, it's no more ridiculous than the example that was given.
Yeah, the question would be.
So left lane, you condone what Curve just did?
Okay, I guess
I'm not talking. I'm talking about what
I didn't think so.
Guys, calm it down now, low guy.
All right, I have a question. If you spun like a merry-go-round that was 10-foot radius and your child was traveling 10 mile per hour linear velocity, would he be flung off harder than a 100-foot merry-go-round with a 10-foot linear velocity?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
If the
What is 10-foot linear velocity?
It's a rim speed. It's not linear. It's not linear. It's out on the rim. It's out on the circumference. The same velocity on the rim.
Yeah,
I didn't ask you.
it's going to be. They're going to be hanging on for dear life either way.
Oh no, actually not. The 100-foot one's going to be kind of just sort of poking along.
They're going to be. You're talking about 1,036 miles an hour, man. You're going to be faster.
But Jim, that's the problem you've got, is you're not understanding scale. Yeah, 1,066 for an object 24,000 miles around versus a 10-foot fucking roundabout. Those are not analogous.
Yes,
so what you've got to do is actually use the same angular velocity, which is 1 rotation per day.
At 1,036 miles per hour.
As Nick has showed you in his equations when he actually did the actual numbers, if you multiply, if you divide the if you're using the linear velocity, you have to divide by the meters to the center of the axis of rotation. So
No, you
talking
don't.
about 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, you have to use. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's
you
the
don't
formula.
have to divide anything.
Jim's just going to say
Once
no and
you've
not back it up with
established
anything because
the
it's annoying.
speed of 1,036 miles per hour, you're going to be hanging on for dear life, and that's what
No,
we're
you're not.
talking about. Will
No,
you
you're-
notice the spin? Will you notice the spin? Yes, you
No.
will. Period.
No.
Thank you. Let me
Nick
silly.
has just showed
Faster
that.
than the speed of sound.
Nick,
Faster than the speed of
hold
sound.
on, Jen, hold on. Nick, do you want to describe what you did again? Just so,
Yeah, this is
yeah.
both of these are the formulas for the centripetal force, and they one of them uses the tangential velocity, which is v, and that's 450 meters a second, which is about 1,000 miles an hour. Then there's omega, which is the basically the angular version, and they both come out to exactly the same answer of about 2.4 newtons, which is much less than the average weight of a person.
In the linear
Well, let's talk about
in the linear. Hold on, Jen. In the linear velocity one, Nick, you had to divide by the amount of meters.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same formula. You've just rearranged for omega instead of v. So that's how the formula changes when you convert between the velocities. And if you just make a substitution for v.
Let's stick to the real world, where real human beings and real objects are on the earth, at spinning supposedly faster than the speed of sound.
Right,
okay?
then if you want to calculate the force that you're describing,
I don't care what you say. If I subjected you to
Did
that,
Nevada.
you'd be dead. You'd be dead.
if you want to describe that in real life, and you describe Jen, that's fine. That's fine. Stop saying that, please. If you were describing a force that is going to fling you away from that spinning object, you're going to have to divide by the distance you are from the center, Jen. Which you're omitting every time when you bring up the miles per hour.
Well, the worst thing is you even agreed earlier on, if you're sitting further up, you're going slower. And if you're at the pole, you're going 0. If you're at the center of the roundabout, you're not moving. And if you're edge of the roundabout, you're going faster.
No,
so
you're not.
Related
Because,
the
you're
fact
going to be moving.
that the size of the object
You're going to be moving. You're going to be moving.
the amount of
as soon as
speed
you move
that
away,
it's going to be moving at. But thanks for letting me finish my point, Jim. I appreciate that.
Yeah, how about a different approach? What would be the force required to actually throw you off the earth? What would be the newtons needed to throw you off the surface of the earth? How fast would it have to move? So
it would require
1,000 miles an hour. Let's calculate the speed required to throw you off the earth in the number of
the Earth would have to be spinning like 17 times faster than it is.
And you're assuming the mass of the Earth? Jesus, y'all. It's crazy.
That would be about enough to make you weightless, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
You have to assume the weight of the Earth like that?
So you don't think we can fill things 17 times more or 17 times less? You don't think we can fill those things? Only
What's wrong
17
with
times?
you?
17 times.
You would have to be moving 17 times the speed just to become weightless.
So you would feel that? So you would feel that, but you don't feel 17 times less.
You would feel roughly weightless.
So you would feel that.
Yeah, you would notice that.
And you would feel 17 times less too, wouldn't you?
Oh shit!
Yes,
you would feel being weightless. That's what that's.
You could feel something 100 times more or less. Yeah, 17 times.
You've got a problem with numbers, Rakia.
No, 17 times is a small number, right? So small that you would feel it.
Yeah.
Oh,
your point's not a point, right?
Let's talk to your wife about
Point
this.
is, don't be absurd that you.
Did you bring my wife into this? This is a mod here, guys.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, of course it is.
How you like that, guys?
Have you ever traveled?
You call her fat too? Hey, you think she's fat too, Curb? You loser.
You want to talk about 17
You
times
only
smaller?
use tactics. That's all you have. It's very
All your cock is.
Hey, Kosho, you want to defend that piece of shit?
If you don't stop this, man.
Kosho, you want to defend that piece of shit?
Family, dude.
Yeah, I know you don't care. You don't care that your mods bring it up repeatedly.
Keep crying, Dave. That's all you know how to do, dude.
Yeah, I'm not crying. That dude has nothing. That's why he has to bring my wife and my weight into it. Because no, the way a woman acts is he talks about other things other than the subject. He talks about how fat that person is, or about what he should do with his wife. That's what a woman
Sorry, I
does.
offended you.
That's
Mrs.
what
Rakia.
Curve did, not me.
Yep. Clown.
I didn't talk about Curve or his
You
wife or his
don't
miserable
know
life.
Rakia.
I talked about
You don't get
17
jokes.
times. I talked about the subject 17 times.
You talked about feeling it 17 times smaller.
Yeah, you would feel it either way. Either way,
not
17.
the same.
If it was spinning 17 times less or 17 times more, you would feel both of them.
He didn't even understand
They're
that
not
joke.
going to feel the same.
I didn't say they would feel the same. I said you could feel it either way. You don't listen.
here's the
Either
thing.
that or you're just plain dumb.
There's not a big difference between 1/17th of something that you don't feel and 17 times something that you don't feel, making that something that you could perceive or feel.
Yeah.
You don't
17
think you
times
can
something
feel the
is not
speed
there.
of sound going from point A to point B because your own
You're not
sound's so
listening,
big?
Rakia. You
That
don't
is
get it.
stupid. No, you don't get it.
No,
You're
you don't get it,
traveling from
Rakia.
point A
You don't stop
to point
talking.
B
You don't get it. You just want to lie.
1,000 miles an hour.
Lordy.
In La La Land, you don't feel it, do you? And
The
your little
difference
made-up
between
ball
not
world?
feeling it and not feeling it is not a big
Screaming
deal.
into your mic.
You go
Or curved
17
lines,
times
or
that
curved
speed.
lines acceleration,
Curve, I
or
think the
orbit
worst part is I
acceleration.
didn't even
You're going to
understand
shut the fuck up and let other people talk.
No one was talking when I asked that question, Curve.
I
You're,
was.
you're a terrible mod.
It doesn't keep working. It doesn't matter. There's people in the chat who are complaining about you screaming into the mic. Okay, because you stop doing.
Oh, my mic is loud. I'm sorry. I'll
You're
talk.
screaming
No
into
problem.
it. Your mic's not loud.
I have no problem with it.
No,
Screaming into the
actually,
mic.
I'm
I-
not
no
screaming.
one's
You're all
worried
right.
about clear.
It's fine, Ricky.
Yeah,
Fine.
some days I talk the same way and it's low, so I apologize. I'm talking
No,
the same way I
no.
always do.
Dude, you're 14 octaves higher than you normally would be talking at a
Well,
normal.
that's something to do with the connection then, because I'm talking
No,
the
that
same way
no,
I'm
it has to
talking
do.
to everybody
It
else.
has to do with your sensitivity to your tiny cock.
You're
Right.
screaming, dude.
Yeah, listen
Have
to that guy.
any,
Projection.
have any of you have any of you travelled at 180 miles an hour on a motorbike? 180 miles an hour, so not quite at 200 miles an hour. Yeah.
I
Who-
travel 100 miles an hour in there.
Who said yes? Who said yes?
Is that a rotational speed or
180
is that
miles
a
an
linear
hour.
speed?
And what machine was that?
Linear
What
speed,
bike was it?
rotational speed.
Jen,
Around
is that a linear speed or rotational speed on a motorbike?
Yeah, you're lying dog. You know what I mean? You ain't even done
Well,
that.
no,
Oh,
I
I
haven't
guess
had
you
a
can't
chance to
answer that
answer you.
question.
That
Sorry,
doesn't.
There
Try
you
not to
go,
interrupt.
then.
Jen.
So if you traveled,
Have I been
about
180 miles an hour? Yes, I have.
hour,
It was on a
yeah,
2008
what
GSX
machine was
R1300.
that? On a motor, what bike?
A GSX R1300.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ninja.
Right,
Damn,
okay.
Dad.
And you hung on for, and tell me you
You
weren't
need a
hanging
speeding
on
ticket.
for dear life at that speed, with everything going around you at that breakneck speed. Yeah? Like on the Isle of Man. Yeah? Things are going pretty
What's the
rapid.
point of
Now
this?
imagine that. Imagine that
That's what
5
I'm trying to
times
figure out.
times 5. Imagine that times 5. Okay?
I've been on
Imagine
an airplane.
180 mile an hour
I've been on
times
an
5.
airplane
I
at
have.
500 miles an hour, and I've walked across the airplane
180
at
miles an
500.
hour times
I
5.
walked across the
You know that.
airplane at 500 miles per hour. I added 2 miles an hour to the speed of the airplane, and I reduced it by
Exactly.
2 miles
Fuck's
per hour.
sake, you're not going to know.
And it felt like walking.
Did you get lighter?
Felt like,
You're an idiot.
felt like I was
Because you were going faster.
You're going 5 times faster than I was on the motorcycle. You know, between 550 and 650 mile an hour, which a commercial jet, and you have no problem walking forward and backwards. So what were
We're
you
talking about
fucking
being
on about?
on the vehicle rather than in the aircraft place you're in it. Be on it, stand on it, sit on it, and then travel. Tell me you're not going to feel it. Act your age, man. You're acting like a dumbass, man.
That's not even the whole thing.
I'm not acting
Guys, one at a
anything. I
time.
answered your
We're not
question
being
of
focused.
whether I have
Response
been
you
that fast on a motorcycle.
Say that
Anything after that was just you talking and 7 other people fucking talking right over top of you. So I'm not acting
Yeah, well then
anything.
don't blame me for that. Don't blame me for that. I said basically, if you've ever ridden a motorcycle to 180 miles an hour, anyone who's ever done that will know that there is no room for error and you're hanging on for dear life. Okay? All your senses
you're
are
not
in-
hanging on for dear life.
You're talking
But
over
okay,
me.
so you've never ridden a motorcycle because that
I
last
have.
statement was absolutely incorrect.
I have. I own a Fireblade, mate. I have. Right? So don't talk shit.
I don't believe you
Do not
because
talk shit.
at no point between
Do
0
not
and
talk shit to
180 would you be
Okay?
hanging on for dear life.
You're talking at your fucking ass, man. At
No, I'm not.
180 miles an hour, your senses are at their highest intensity. You
What are
have
you
got no
sensing?
room for error. You're checking for everything. And now what I'm trying to say to you is this. That feeling times that by 5. Okay? You're going to notice the speed of sound on a motorbike. Or
Yeah, on an airplane. On an
airplane,
airplane,
it's only going 600 miles an hour.
yet on an airplane, I can go to sleep like a baby, and I can drink my soda.
Yes, you're inside the vehicle. I'm saying on the vehicle.
You're moving on a linear path.
On
Sit
Earth,
down
you're
on the
inside the
Why
vehicle,
don't you
so to
sit
speak.
on the vehicle? On
You're
the
not
jet
moving
plane?
relative to the atmosphere like you
Why
are
don't
in the
you sit
motorcycle.
on the
Stop
vehicle?
speaking, man. The curve
Why
speaking.
don't you sit on the wing?
No, Jen, it's
Sit
not time
on
to
the
ask a
wing.
question. It's not time to ask a
Why
question.
don't you
You have
sit
to
on
stop
the
speaking
wing?
when people are responding to you,
On
man.
the
Living in a
fuselage.
straight line, linear path.
Why don't you sit on the
In an airplane.
fuselage?
Curve is trying to respond to you, dude. Stop speaking, please.
Jen, when you're on the motorcycle, you're out moving relative to the atmosphere. Standing
I am
on the
moving
Earth, the
in the
rotation.
atmosphere.
You're there he goes already. Jen, you're moving with the atmosphere with
I
the
am not.
rotation of the Earth.
No, we're not. Can you please prove that?
Well,
Can you please
Jen,
prove that?
in what you're arguing against, you are.
Please demonstrate and prove that to us, because you can't prove that. We're not moving with the atmosphere. I am actually moving in
We're
the
talking
atmosphere.
about the model you're trying to argue against.
It's causing a massive drag factor when you're traveling at 180 miles an hour. There's a massive drag factor going on there. You're hanging on for dear life.
You can't ramble for truth,
You
Jen.
cannot make a single.
No, but what he wants,
You're
Curve,
planning-
what he would like
you're
is,
planning 10 moves
what,
ahead.
Jin, can you hear it? Can you hear me? I think what he's looking for, correct me if I'm wrong, Jin, but you get a vacuum chamber, Curve, put a ball in that vacuum, Put the atmosphere around that ball, spinning with the ball, and show us the practical demonstration.
Why would the ball
love
have
it, I
the
love it.
gravity to
Yeah, can you
hold
do
the
that for us, please?
atmosphere to it?
Yeah.
Because what you're
Yeah.
doing is you're making a claim that cannot be replicated or demonstrated.
You're making a childlike request because of your A, dishonesty, B, lack of understanding of virtually anything, or C, a combination of both.
Actually,
I would have said that if someone's going to make a wild, outrageous claim about the atmosphere moving with the Earth, then obviously the common sense thing would be to show that curve instead of just spouting it like it's true.
Yeah, but if you understand physics, you'll recognize the ridiculousness of your request.
If you understand practical demonstrations, you'll be able to say, well, yeah, I understand physics. I understand how these things work. This is something that I can replicate.
Can you moderate Gene, Kimo? He just don't stop talking, bro.
Kimo was injecting in some, what's the word I'm looking for there? Some scientific integrity and intellectual honesty into the situation. You guys, on the other hand, are just totally dishonorable. You don't even know the word of intellectual honesty and scientific integrity. You don't have that. To say that you can, you're relaxed at 180 miles an hour, you got to be a lunatic.
I sleep in an airplane.
In an airplane is not the same as being on the airplane.
Absolutely the
It's
same.
on the
The atmosphere is moving along with the atmosphere. The atmosphere is
on
moving.
the
For fuck's sake, man.
fuselage.
Can you shut your fucking mouth for one second and stop
listen
babbling,
clearly?
you insufferable cock?
Kimo, can you moderate Gene? Yeah, there you go.
People respond to you, man.
Yeah, he needs to.
Yeah, then, sorry, Jose, you saying something with my bad.
What do you need, Jose?
No,
What do
I
you
just
say?
was saying that Gene needed moderation because he asked his question, somebody attempt to answer, then he just start talking again. It's just not working out.
Jen, the difference, the reason why I was bringing that up is because it is true that in our model, the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. This is true in our model. What's not true is that it's doing this against the wind, against the air. Like the air is stationary, and the Earth from that position is going 1,000 miles per hour while the air is stationary. In our model,
I interrupt your long monologue?
The air is moving with the Earth. So
how is that with a downward vector of gravity?
That's an appropriate description rather than the motorcycle. The motorcycle's going against the wind.
How is that with a downward vector of gravity?
There's no point in you asking me a question while I'm saying something, because I'm not only going to not
But
hear
you monologue.
I'm not going to be able to
nobody wants
Yeah,
to
but
hear all that
Kosher, we
shit.
want to know how it
You need to be
works.
not stupid right now. This is a
Kosher,
time-
we've got
time to
questions
be
for
not
you. You're
stupid.
explaining something. We want to know how does that work with the downward vector.
You ask the question afterward, though, right?
How does that work with your downward vector of gravity? You have no lateral stability whatsoever for that.
Not the impatient asshole, bro. All these bad people and assholes. So impatient, boys.
Wow, you got to.
He's already calling out. He's already calling out monologue within 20 seconds of somebody speaking. They're already calling monologue. Motherfuckers, fucking motherfuckers.
Here's a comment from Lee. Thanks, Jose.
Okay, Jose, you got a point there, Jose. You got a point.
How does it
We're
work with
guilty
downward-
as charged.
Hey, Jen.
Guilty
Jen,
as charged,
it's
Jose.
fine.
Okay, sorry.
How does it work with a downward vector of gravity? Somebody asked. It fucking just does. It works with it. But I don't know why you're bringing that. Like, why that would do something.
It just
different.
does.
It just
Yeah,
does,
why
he
would
says.
downward vector of gravity-
It just does.
Just
Why would
like that,
downward vector of
Kosher,
gravity-
yeah? Magic?
Why would we can't stop, Chemo. Why would the downward vector of gravity change the fact that the Earth is not moving against the wind, but with the wind? Why is that a relevant question to ask in that conversation?
Then there'd be no Coriolis then.
You said you got this downward biased. You've always
We
been
need
saying
to
this.
hear from Clary now. Now is the time for Clary to speak.
What?
Yeah, it just does, right? How does positractio work? It just does. That's a great answer.
How is it relevant to the statement I made?
What is gravity? What the hell is gravity?
How does the flat Earth model work? It just does.
Clary,
It just
if you want to
works.
be taken seriously, you'll give a serious answer to what Kosho asked you.
Kosho said it just
Kosho
does.
asked me, Kosho answered me.
That was
He
the
didn't
answer.
answer
It
me
just
because
does.
He said it just does.
I did answer you. I said that it has nothing to do with this. The downward vector of gravity is not changing the fact that the Earth is not moving against the wind. The wind is moving with the Earth.
Perpendicular, right?
You see now.
The downward vector of gravity.
Okay, all right.
is related to this.
All right. So what force is that that's keeping that air? If it's not the downward vector force, It'd be some lateral force keeping the air with that spinning ball Earth model.
It's not a force at all. It's a law.
Minus 10 to the 17th.
law?
No, he's saying what's keeping it.
Shut up, Jen.
What's keeping it moving? He's
Law of
asking.
lateral forces.
Minus
like
10
it.
to the 17th torque.
An object in motion is going to remain in motion unless something something works against that. So that's the law that's using. So the wind is moving with the Earth, and the Earth is moving at that speed. The wind's not going to be moving at a it's not moving. It's not stationary compared to that speed. It's moving with
So
the
that
Earth.
lack, yeah,
Minus
so
10
that
to the
lack
17th
force
torque.
that it has no force pushing it. Eventually,
it's moving at the
it's
speed
not
with
going to
the
be
Earth.
spinning. Oh, you think the air is stuck to the Earth, to the land?
It's not about being stuck to the Earth. It's not. Listen one more time. An object in motion is going to remain in motion unless something acts against that. So
Like
if
your
the Earth
gravity.
is-
Do that every
if
which way.
the air is moving at the same speed as the Earth, then when you're describing the speed the Earth's making the next day, the air is not for some reason staying still all of a sudden. It's going at the same speed
Right.
it's going.
Right. So you're in a jet, right? You're hauling ass through the air, and the engines fail. Is that object going to continue to stay in motion, or is that object going to go to
It's
rest?
going
at the
to
fucking ground?
stay in the same motion unless a force acts on it. The force of gravity is going to
No,
pull it
the
down.
force that was
No,
pushing it
that's
down.
It's going to pull it down, and the wind
You
resistance
took the
is going to
force
slow it down.
away. You took the force away from it. It's no longer moving.
Yeah,
There is no
whenever-
force pushing.
When it stops,
Oh.
when its engines stop, gravity's going to pull it down. It's going to continue in the direction it was going at the speed it was going, except for the fact that gravity's pulling it down. And dude, stop, Jen, stop.
What is that force
Gravity's
pushing the
pulling
air
it down,
along?
and wind resistance is slowing it down.
Don't tell me to
But
shut
What
everything
is
up.
that lateral
else goes
force?
the same
Don't tell me
direction
to
it's
shut
going.
up, Kosho. Because I'm asking
I
you a
can't hear
question
nothing.
here.
Yeah, Jen,
What is that
stop,
lateral
dude.
force? What's the
Stop,
lateral
stop.
force?
Kosho, you're
pushing the
changing
air?
the story here. Can you stick to one story? That's why it's
Say one
confusing.
thing.
How do the big sailboats
We're talking
work?
about how the wind's going with the Earth.
The
and
Nina, the
why
Pinta, and the Santa
use
Maria.
their engines.
How do they
Ah,
move
we got
across the
one
water
more.
if the air
What
is
is
locked
that
up?
One
engine?
participant.
What is that engine?
How do the big ass boats work, the sailboats, if the
Oh my,
fucking
this is
air
gonna
is
go
in
bad.
lockstep? You would go
Focus on
nowhere.
one
You would
subject,
just
man. We're trying
sit
to focus
on
on
the
one subject.
water.
You made your
Kosho,
point, Mark. You done? Or do we
did you
have to
start
finish?
yet? How did you
What is that lateral
differentiate?
force that pushes the air?
So again,
What is that lateral
you know, I
force?
mean, this idea of a model without any practical demonstrations, curved, you don't have a leg to
Chemo, we're
stand
not
on,
doing that.
right? How do you have a position without a practical demonstration?
Okay, Cleary was saying something, Chemo. He was asking a question.
What is that lateral force pushing the air along?
Nothing has to push the air along. That's what was said to you. Nothing has to actually be pushing
something
the air
does.
along. It's already moving at that speed.
So
There's nothing
So
that has
air
to be
sticks to the
pushing it along.
ground. Air sticks to the land.
No, again, nothing has to push the air along. The fact that it's already moving with the Earth.
Are you gonna say conservation of momentum?
Here we
How
go.
long does that conservation last? For fucking ever? Or an hour? How long does that last?
It lasts forever.
You got that?
So when that plane's engine stops, it should be able to keep going forever.
Forever.
It says
Forever.
In the law, it says in
Nothing lasts forever.
Forever.
Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
That goes against physics, not for physics. Nothing
Exactly.
lasts forever.
Shit,
Minus 10.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Full of
Nothing
shit,
lasts
Rocky.
forever. Oh shit! Says Curve.
Absolutely,
I
it
mean,
does.
says Blue.
Conservation
one
of
thing
momentum
that
goes on
lasts
forever
forever.
unless another force acts on it, Rockia. Don't be
Tell
a
me one thing
dipshit.
that lasts forever, dipshit.
There you go.
I just did.
So it doesn't last forever then. You don't think anything else is
momentum
acting?
lasts forever,
You don't think
Rockia.
anything else is acting on that supposedly momentum of the
Stop
atmosphere?
yelling, Miss Rakifa. Stop yelling, Miss Rakifa.
You don't think anything is acting on that? Let's say if it is,
No,
right?
you tell me what is
Would
acting
you let me
on
talk?
that, Rockia. You
Moderator.
tell me, smart guy.
Moderator.
You're the
Hey,
guy
smart
who
guy.
You tell me what is acting on the atmosphere to slow it down.
What would it be?
What's pushing it?
Yeah.
What the fuck is pushing it?
If it was turning, that's a big if, and you're gonna say nothing else would be acting on it?
Nothing has
Really?
to be
Acting on it to slow it down, Rocky. You know,
Oh, really?
the acting on
What's making it speed up there, Genius?
it. Vacuum? Is that what it is?
Okay, so nothing else would make it slow down. It would last forever.
From
In a
outside,
perfect,
slow it down.
perfect
What would be
sphere.
slowing it down, Rockia?
Right. Right, and then you have to add other magical forces, right? To even hold that so-called spinning atmosphere that spins forever due to whatever force you just came up with that lasts forever. You have to add more magical forces to hold it in place and not act on it in any other way.
Is that
to
a
slow
question
down.
or are you preaching, Rakia? Is that a question or are you preaching?
It actually, I'm talking about logic. It actually has to speed up.
Oh, you started asking a question, but then you continue rambling. So I didn't know if there was a question or you were just
I didn't know
preaching.
Jose was an expert on momentum. So then it actually has to speed up.
I'm an expert on I can figure out when you are just talking
himself.
garbage and
Jose
shit.
wants to insert himself.
Just
Jose
doing stupid nonsense, Rakia. You gotta stop.
Jose saying nothing. Jose hadn't said anything yet.
Why don't you ignore me, Rakia, and continue your thing?
So then that atmosphere, okay, I will. Thank you, Jose. So then that atmosphere, as it gains altitude, has to speed up. And you're saying it slows down. So what does affect it? What does slow it down? Okay. So what you're saying is it doesn't last.
There you go. That was a question, but then he continued talking. What the fuck, bro?
The law is simple. It's not.
I just proved it doesn't last forever.
Stop talking now, dude. You've asked your
question.
Even
in your own model,
you've had your allotted time to say what you said, dude. So stop talking now. The law is not a force. It's a law, and it states clearly when it says it goes forever. It doesn't say it doesn't stop. It says when something acts on it or compels it to do something different, that's when it does something different. So it's going to keep moving. It's going to keep moving, except for the fact that gravity's pulling it down, and except for the fact that there's different pressures which are going to move the wind around. These things move the air, but the fact that it's moving at the speeds of the Earth, where it's moving with the Earth, that's not going to change. There's nothing compelling.
Okay, so real quick, the air at the ground, is it moving the same speed as the air at 40,000 feet, or is that a different velocity?
It's moving at the same rate.
Same angular speed?
Same rate.
Yeah,
we
that's
already
a play on
killed
words.
that loser.
Rotating at the same rate.
We've already killed that. Well, you want to go
that's
back
all.
to that now?
Yeah.
Still
He's just
You're too stupid
repeating
to
what he's heard. He doesn't even know that.
Yeah, Blue's trying to say something now.
know that. I do know that. The atmosphere is spinning at the same angular velocity as the Earth.
Yep.
Yeah. You believe that? That's nice for
Understand?
you. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't
fucking
understand,
child.
that's not our problem.
Well, here you go, Hot Rod. Prove me wrong.
Prove your bullshit wrong? Why would
the
we
Earth
do
is
that?
spinning.
Rock, yeah.
They
Why
can
would we
just
do
ignore
that?
it, Blue. They just ignore it, Blue.
You've got to prove a spinning ball first before we prove that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll just deny
let's
it.
prove it's turning first, rotate.
Yeah,
All flat earthers got to do is deny it. It's easy.
It's not denial. It has
Easy
to
cop
be
out.
proven.
Easy cop out. I'll just deny what you just told me, how it works, and then ask you
No,
again
it's
tomorrow.
just put on paper with maths.
Why don't you just
And
prove
y'all
the globe
believe it.
first, Jose? Ne? Prove that the globe exists.
It's
first.
been proven to you, and you just deny it.
No.
Cop out.
Can you prove it again? Because I never saw it.
Deny, deny, deny.
But I never
But
saw
that's all
it.
y'all got is to call us deniers. You can't prove it with anything other than math.
No,
Oh, it's been presented
Which
to you. It's
means
been
you
proven
can
to you.
only explain it in your model. You can't
No,
ever
you
replicate
bend
it.
straight
You can't
lines,
ever show it.
Rakia.
Yeah,
Bender told us
curve,
earlier. Just make up new axioms.
curve
How do
straight
you have
lines.
the South Celestial Pole? What about the South Celestial Pole on a flat Earth? How does that
You
work?
can then
gives us-
confuse
Nuh-uh.
elevation with
Let's
Another
say
one of your
nuh-uh.
theories.
There you go. That's your rebut.
We're going to speak one at a time, and we're going to talk about the same thing that the person that we're responding to is talking about, okay? Because now people are talking about 5 different things, and 5 different people are talking at the same time. So just try not to do that.
Well, we could save the argument, Kosho, just by presenting a practical demonstration, right?
Yeah.
You could just demonstrate. We wouldn't have to use words. You could say, look at this experiment, and then we could look at the experiment, then we could repeat your experiment. But what you're causing, Kosho, is an argument because you're not proving anything. Like you end up talking over me, and he's over talking over. That's what we're looking for, is a practical demonstration of an Earth turn.
Why does no one ever?
Someone's brought that up, man. They brought the South Celestial.
Yeah.
Can I address
And
that?
no one ever answered.
Can I address that, please?
You mean the guy who brought it up right in the middle of Bev talking about something? As he cut Bev off, he brought up South Celestial Pole, which
Yeah,
is
that's
only an
right.
optical view.
No,
Yeah,
that's
only
right.
optical.
Wait,
We have to float.
He's
Before
brought
you
it up.
go
as-
there.
Jen, hold
For
on.
sure.
Jen, hold on.
You know,
Jen.
let
We're
me
staying
say something.
on the same subject we're
I've
on.
been trying to get
Jen.
something in all the time.
We're on the
That's
Earth
why I-
rotation.
Man, just let with moderation the quiet. What the fuck, man?
Because I don't get a chance to get a
So
word
look
in.
at this, Kosho. If we have the gyroscope, that thing that Bob used, you say it proves the Earth caused that to give a reading deviation, right?
But what about the South Celestial Pole?
Someone's brought that up as already. The South Celestial Pole. He's bringing that up for a reason.
No,
because
but I'm
somebody's
saying the
asked-
practical.
No, somebody's asked about the rotation of the Earth. And
Yeah,
yes, we're
rotation, gyro, Bob. You say thanks, Bob. Remember that? He proved rotation. So what I'm asking you, Kosho, if that proves rotation, was that an experiment? What Bob did?
We're not talking about that, okay?
South
Someone's brought the South
Celestial
Celestial Pole.
Yes, he's
Again, we can't prove Kosho. That
That
is
was
a
the
wild
example-
claim
that
about
was the
two
example
celestial.
he gave.
Kosho, can you provide two celestial poles? No.
They
So why are we
can't.
talking about something we cannot provide? What we can do is provide Bob's.
We can provide that.
Oh, go on, let's see the two celestial poles. Give us a look.
Yeah, let's see them then, please. Present the actual globe with its two.
With his two poles, yeah, around the globe. Let's have a look, Kosho.
Maybe get a piece of one. Maybe chip off a piece of one of these globes, these poles.
Here's the southern one.
No, Kosho, we need to see two poles.
No, that's a view.
Around
That's
the globe.
There's the southern one.
No,
You're talking
Kosho,
about
that's
lights
not.
in the sky.
That's
Don't
not
just
two
deny it,
celestial
Flat Earthers.
poles.
Don't just deny it, Kimo.
No, we
Kimo.
don't deny
Be
the lights
honest.
in the sky.
No, tend to say something.
We
and I hope
do
my
not
10
deny.
seconds. I hope my 10 seconds are respected to say something.
Do not
Don't
deny. Do not deny. That was your 10 seconds.
that was 1 second. I need 10. So I hope that you guys are honest enough to at least address the point. What is being presented to you, don't just deny it.
Kosho, when we say Kosho,
what's being presented is things in the sky moving.
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
So
now you view them from Earth.
Kosho, when we
stationary
present,
plane.
hold on, Rocky, a second. Kosho, when we present a section of the ice wall, you'll say, well, that's not the ice wall. That's just a small bit of the ice wall. So when you say
No, we'll say that's not the ice wall,
when you say, stop talking. When you
Kosho,
say,
don't cut
when
him
you
off.
say, when you say two celestial poles, Kosho, then you have to show two celestial poles.
Don't drop at me, Kimo. I've never said that whenever you post a picture of the ice
Right.
wall.
So do you accept the ice wall if we show you an image of the ice wall?
Right, Kimo. What we're talking about now is the two celestial poles.
Okay, so can you show two celestial poles?
I've just done that, Kimo.
No, you've shown one celestial pole at a time. I could show you a part of the ice wall. You wouldn't accept it until I show the entire ice wall. You don't accept it, right, Kosho?
You showed me a picture. You got the entire ice wall in as many 1,000 pictures. I wouldn't care how many pictures you showed me if it was the entire ice wall. I'm showing you both the celestial poles.
Yeah, so I've got to show you the entire ice wall, so all of it together at the same time. So can you show two celestial? Kosho, stop talking. I'm trying to ask you a question. Can you show?
you're not going to address.
Can you show the two celestial poles, the entire of it, all of it at the same time, so we can talk about it?
Kimo.
Sorry?
Why don't you now because you don't have any understanding of what the celestial poles are and the fact that there's no way to get a picture of both of them, Kimo.
Well, what are you talking about? How are we going to prove it then? How are we going to verify it then?
He's
one of
asking
these pictures are taken at the South Pole, and the other one's taken at the North Pole.
So I just said to you, if I show you a section of the ice wall, do you accept that as being the ice wall?
Enough pictures that was the entire ice wall.
Uh-huh.
I would have to say, okay, well, this is the entire ice wall.
Right. So I want to see the entire image of the two. Can you show? Kosho, can you stop talking? Can you show what you claimed?
I don't know answering your question, Kimo.
Because if I said the ice wall and showed you a section of the ice wall, you would say, that's not the ice wall, that's just a small section. I want to see all of the ice wall. Now, you said 2 stars. Why do you show 1 star and then another star? I could show you one section of the wall and then another section of the wall and then another section, all different. But you would say, well, that's not one wall. So I'm asking you to show 2 stars, 2 celestial poles around the globe.
Stop asking questions, okay? It's not about 2 stars. It's about 2 celestial poles.
What is it?
Now, they're both been shown to you. And the fact is that there are 2 celestial poles, Kimo.
Okay, there is an ice wall then.
The whole point is that they rotate.
Well, no, they can't be Kosho. There's an ice wall.
That's not.
Never been there, Kosho.
No, Kosho, stop talking. Stop talking, Kosho. How can there be 2? How can there be 2 poles, Kosho, when there's an ice wall? How does that work? Go on, explain to me on an ice wall how that works.
Yeah, there's two poles.
How does that work with the ice wall?
Stop doing that, Kimo. Stop doing that. There's 2 poles rotating in 2 different directions, which is what this other guy had pointed out. He's bringing that up for that reason, because somebody asked about the proof of or to show the Earth's rotating.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he's bringing up.
Mhm.
This is the proof of it. The fact
Okay,
that
and now I'm asking you a question. You've just said that. How does that work with an ice wall?
one, so it doesn't have to work with an ice wall.
So then how do you explain it? We've got an ice wall. You say we've got 2 poles. How does that work with a big ring of ice around us?
There was the claim. You made the claim. There is an ice wall. Now prove the ice wall.
I posted ice wall pictures. I can show you the ice wall right now. Pictures of ice wall. So Coach has to explain how the 2 stars work with the ice wall.
So you prove
No,
it doesn't.
There's many things you need. Show the entire ice wall.
And showing an ice shelf is an ice wall.
Exactly. So showing one star, exactly, I agree with you. Showing one star when you said there are 2 is not showing the 2 celestial poles.
The middle of my sentence wasn't the key for you to jump in. So showing an ice shelf where they can go 50 miles down, and guess what? There is no fucking ice shelf.
Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you 2 different separate ice walls.
Chemo,
like Kosho showing 2 different pictures.
So what you need to do, is show an actual ice wall.
Yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you 2 pictures like Kosho, 2 different pictures of an ice wall, and say that's the entire ice wall. So let's have a look.
The amount of something you show.
Right. So now, Kosho, I've shown you the ice wall. How do the 2 poles work around an ice wall? How does that work?
Someone was in the middle of saying something to you.
It doesn't.
Kosho, can you answer my question, please? You said there were 2 stars. I've shown you the ice wall, 2 pictures of ice wall, one at one side of the ice wall, and the other at the other end of the ice wall. So how does a star, 2 stars, work?
Blue Marble Science has posted a picture that shows both the celestial poles at the same time using a panoramic view.
Yeah, I can put my walls together if you want. I can put my walls together, no problem.
Put the entire wall together, Kimo.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Show the globe with the 2 poles either side of it, Kosho.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
It's a bit square at the edges. Is that what it does?
Yeah, planet Earth is a planet, you dumpties.
So, Kosho, can you show 2 poles around a globe, like you tell us there is? That proves rotation.
Isn't this amusing? It's so amusing.
Both of them together. I posted both of them separately.
So you want me to post? You want me to post those 2 pictures of the ice wall together?
Kimo, stop interrupting me. I swear to God, just stop interrupting me, dude.
Well, go on, make your point.
You're interrupting everybody in here and not letting anybody else speak to ask your ridiculous
Well, make your
questions.
point then, because we want to get through the evidence. There's so much to get through.
The point was this guy brought it up as evidence that the Earth is rotating.
Yeah, I said to you, we don't have 2 poles. You said, oh, we've got to talk about poles. I said, we have Bob's experiment. You said, no, we've got 2 stars. I said, where are they? You said, well, here's one, and here's another one. And I'm like, well, that's not showing 2 pole stars. That's just showing 2 separate stars. We don't know where they are, what they're in reference to, location.
Someone brought up stars. We're not talking about stars here. We're talking about celestial poles.
The poles, yeah. Can you show 2 poles?
The position in the sky that the rest of the sky appears to rotate around.
Yeah, but can you show 2 poles around a globe?
Chemo, so this is what you're messing up. The celestial point at which the field of rotation seems to go around, and the north and south celestial star are 2 completely different fucking things, and you are continuously mix these up.
Are they opposite each other? Are they opposite one another?
You watch a YouTube video and you think there's a southern star rotation. You've never been to the southern hemisphere. You've never fucking seen it.
Oh, actually, some of us have been. Some of us have been, and some of us live there.
Show me your fisheye Photoshop bullshit.
Right, can we get back to Bob's experiment now that proves rotation?
No, not yet, Kimo. Nobody. You want to talk about it? I just got a quick question for you, Kimo. If I post a picture of me, of my face, and I tell you, Kimo, you know what? This is a 3-dimensional face, and there's a back on my head. It's not in the picture, but believe me, there's a back on my head, and it's kind of a oval, round shape, and it's got hair on it. Would you believe that, or you have to question me and you say like, no, I don't believe you? Show
if
me something else.
If you said you had a mini Jose growing out the back of your head, you're gonna have to show that Jose.
There's a mini Jose now. It looks like a hair. Solid hair in the back. That's mini Jose.
Yeah, but if you had a mini-me growing out your head.
If I show the front of my face, will you deny that there's a back of my face?
What if you said there was a face behind my face, another face?
No, I didn't say. My question is, if I show you a picture of my face, will you deny that there's a back of my head, hair on it?
I would deny that you have another face on the back of your face.
I didn't mention any face. Why are you bringing a face? That's why. Why are you doing that?
Because what Kosho is saying...
I just know, but what I stated is a fact. There's a face to me, and then there's a back of my head. In the back of my face, there's hair on it. It's just a skull and hair, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, but that's
so
on your head,
why are you asking me? Why are you asking me something else that I didn't present?
Jose, this is on your head. Let's say you said I had glasses behind my head and glasses in front of my head. They're your 2 points, yeah? Back and front.
Yeah. Will you deny that? Will you deny that?
If I couldn't see the glasses at the back of your head, of course I'm going to deny that.
But I do got glasses in my eyes, in my picture, and I do have glasses in the same time in the back of my head.
Well, that's
why
will
you deny that?
How are you going to show 2 glasses?
Well, I show you 2 pictures. I show you a picture of the front of my head, and then I show you a second picture of the back of my head.
Sneaky. What are you trying to trick?
Why trick? Or I can put a mirror. I can manipulate it somehow. I can put a mirror. I can take a picture with the phone facing me, and then the mirror will take the back of my head in the same image. Will you accept that? And that is an honest question. It's an honest question.
You're being silly now, Jose. He's making a claim about 2 points around a globe. That proves rotation. We've never seen those 2 points.
Yeah, I've showed them to you, Chemo. The same way if somebody was driving a car down a highway and they said, show me a picture of the direction you're going and the direction you're coming from. You have to take 2 different pictures, Chemo, because they're 2 different directions.
No.
Again,
two pictures, the celestial poles. We're going to show you 2 different pictures, Chemo.
No, because your claim is that...
on a non-moving surface. Can I stand on a non-moving surface and spin the sky in any position and create what you just showed with lights?
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can. Thank you. That's all you're doing.
Shape, though.
Yeah,
that would be disingenuous. You're not proving if the surface is turning, rotating, or the sky is rotating in that area. It doesn't matter.
Ricky, I'm still answering your question. Yeah, the sky's moving in 2 different directions.
Could be moving in 1,000 different directions.
If you're going to argue that it's stationary and the sky's moving, you have to be talking about a 3-dimensional object in which you're on 2 different sides of it, watching the sky move in apparently 2 different directions.
It's doing all kinds.
How did you know about the 2 poles, Coach, in the first place? Who told you?
Of amazing things, man. You should enjoy it.
Where did you get that information from, Kosho, about the 2?
Well, I've seen it, so I mean, I don't care who told me.
There's no need to answer these questions, guys.
You don't need to answer it, but you're here answering questions, stopping people from discussing, but you won't answer anything.
I don't remember who told me, but I didn't see it. So I mean, what the hell's the point of me?
Yeah, but how do you know there were 2 poles? What made someone think, oh, 2 poles? What do they see?
Where did they see it?
Yeah, we've got somebody here that's seen it. So why don't we hear that testimonial?
No, but where did the idea come from? Is it just because you're on a globe and there should be...
Someone here that's seen it. And you're gonna go, maybe he's lying. I don't
Someone stood on a place on a Earth, on a place where he lives, looked up at the sky and said, "Oh, look at the light spinning around my point right here. That's a pole, right? That's a pole, and I must be moving." That's not proof, my friend.
Somebody was in a position like in the picture that I just showed, and saw that the sky in one side rotates in one direction, and the sky on the other side rotates another direction.
Right.
They're rotating around 2 separate points. Somebody noticed this.
It
appeared to. It wasn't yesterday.
It appeared to.
Yeah.
I seen a guy look. I seen a guy look through a glass of water and have an arrow change direction. It appeared to, right? It only appeared to change direction. It didn't actually.
That's great, Ricky.
Right. Yeah, it is great, isn't it? It debunks your appearance of lights turning in all types of
welcome
different directions.
Welcome to Understand Optics.
Welcome to y'all denying and projecting that we're denying that could be something.
Welcome to Human Understand Optics.
Welcome to y'all using optics, right? Welcome to y'all using optics.
So, Kosho, you got any answers? You got any answers for us, Kosho? You got any answers for us, Kosho?
An unknown medium and unknown distance.
We're asking questions.
We're moving.
I know.
Raki is asking a question. Kosho, you got any answers for us?
Yes, I'm trying to say what you just fucking said. It goes in all these different directions. It doesn't go in all these different directions. They rotate in two distinct directions.
You're saying the sky's moving?
Stop, dude. They rotate in two distinct directions. Stop, dude. Stop talking, man. Just wait until people are finished. You never wait until people.
You never finish though.
No,
you kind of just said this, Kosher. You just posted the picture.
Yeah, they rotate in two distinct directions. Counterclockwise and clockwise, depending on which hemisphere.
I saw a YouTube video.
That's the model.
Kimo, I thought you asked him a question, Kimo, and you letting the flatter to stay.
But we would know that answer. He's just give us that answer. He just
no,
posted
yeah,
the
but
picture.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Then if you keep interrupting him, then I will not know what the answer is. And then you got Rakia. You see, overtime. This is what they do. You see?
No. He already answered that, and now Rakia asked a different question, and that's what we have the answer to.
And I'd like to point out a new fallacy that's come to the front, and that would be Rakia and his denial fallacy, denial reversal fallacy.
Denial reversal fallacy. Got it.
So look, we can see now.
It's a versal in.
What about you, Left Lane? Hang on, Left Lane called me out. Left Lane called me out. I'd like to address him. When you look up in the sky, Left Lane. Oh, you're gonna cut me off? When you look up in the sky, Left Lane, and you see things moving above you, you think that proves you're moving or the sky is moving? Could it be either one?
What I understand about reality, it is me that's moving.
That was
when
not
I look
my
at
question.
my window. When I look at my window down the road and I see stuff passing by, I realize that's me moving.
That's not analogous, and that wasn't my question. I said, can you prove that you're moving and the sky isn't?
No, you can't.
Taking in other bits of information. Yes, I can.
What's the information, Left Lane?
Kimo, you brought up Bob Nodell's gyroscope.
I was going to ask him, Left Lane. Do you agree with Bob's? Was it an experiment? What Bob did? What did Bob do?
Can Left Lane answer my question? It was very direct. Can he prove? I must have missed it. Let me ask it again so I can be clear. I have it in one clip.
We're in the middle of talking about what the answer is, man.
Can you prove? I want him to say it again though. It must have clipped out. Can you prove when you're looking up in the sky that the sky isn't moving and you are?
Yes, based on other information, other knowledge that I have, yes, I can prove that it's me moving.
Like the gyroscope that we're talking about.
What information, Left Lane?
You answered twice.
What information do you have?
His beliefs.
That was the same thing I said a while ago, though.
We like information. What information do you have that suggests the Earth moves?
Oh, it's where do you want to go with that, Kimo? I mean,
Rakia ask you a very simple question.
Start at your number one.
The two celestial poles, the way the sun rises and sets, the eclipses. What else you want?
Is any of this scientific or your best guess? Left Lane, is this your best guess or is this scientific knowledge?
No, it's knowledge. Yeah, it's knowledge.
How did you get this knowledge? By reading or doing an experiment of some kind?
Well, over the past 58 years and a few years of college and understanding how things work and how things don't, that's my knowledge base.
We're not all as dumb as Howard here in America. I just want to say that.
So basically nothing, Left Lane. You can't do anything, show anything.
He's doing a test. He's told me he's doing it.
Got a test.
That's right, Howard. Right?
That's where you're lying again, Bev. I've never said that I'm doing a test.
Yeah, you did. You've got the equipment. You said it in the YouTube. Let me see if I can find
it. I told you all that I own in my possession in the way of survey equipment is an instrument, a transit. I don't own a theodolite. I don't own. I do have a water level.
You had a load of pipe for water levels. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you
no,
did.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
He's
lying.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, play it back. Play it back to me. Play it back to me.
Big time, though.
It's a comment, isn't it, on YouTube? Do you want to get it deleted or?
Let's keep
talking. Let's show it. Show it. Or shut up.
What's the point in this? He's saying he's not doing a test.
Just trying to find a resolution, Coach.
Why has he said he is doing a test then? Why does he say both things?
I don't know, dude. Doesn't matter.
No, I did not. I have not ever said I'm doing a test. Did not, have not, and won't.
Okay.
I don't need to.
Somebody's asked him about the evidences of the Earth rotating and not the sky. And it was already been brought up a gyroscope. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that it's
So
not.
what did Bob do? Did he do an experiment, you say?
Someone's answered that question, Chemo, and you feel the need to ask again.
Yeah, what did he do? What was it? What do you call it?
Why don't you answer?
You felt the need to bring it up again. You felt the need to bring it up again.
Yeah,
It was an observation.
An observation.
Observation. Yes.
Did he prove the ground was moving or the sky?
Did
Or
he
some type
observe
of
the
light or ether or medium? What did he
from what
prove
we
was
understand-
rotating?
From what we know about physics and the way things work, the ground had to be moving.
No, that's not
No,
science.
the guy that actually did the test, what does he say now that he thinks was actually moving? Due
Why
to
don't you
his
tell
test?
us?
Why don't you? You keep bringing him up. None of us bring him up. You brought him up, Coach.
It doesn't matter what anybody.
They pretended that that's how gyroscopes work.
It doesn't matter the opinion of a
By the
person.
fact that ether moves or the sky moves.
If the data, if the data is presented, if the test is being posted out there, it doesn't matter what you say. I
So
can
you
take
can
a
use
picture of
his
something and say, like,
opinion.
look, it's a ghost. But it doesn't matter. You determine what happened in the test. All the
You
data
use
is being
his
presented.
opinion to say that he said that Earth was rotating, which
No,
he
not his
never did.
opinion. Not his opinion. His,
Yeah.
his
The
measurements. His measurements.
But when he goes
Rakia.
back and does
his
other
opinion
measurements-
don't count because his
So
opinion
when those
is that
measurements
the
are
sky
different,
may
what's
be
his
moving,
opinion then?
and his opinion don't count.
When
Only those
his
who make
measurements change?
instrument.
Yeah, we
Only
heard you
those-
5 times. We heard you 5 times.
No, you cut
Y'all
me.
wizards
You cut me
like
every
repeating
time.
things.
You cut me every time.
Rakia,
We heard you.
His own words, man. He says the rotation is not looking good, man. He's saying
Right.
this, and yeah, and
Right. Don't stop there. Don't stop. What were the rest of his words?
He's saying it's not looking
Yeah, if they
good.
find,
He even said
they find out about this.
he even said if we post
they
this
find out
now, it
about
wouldn't
this.
be good, right? I'll even go further and say if we post this information now, it wouldn't look good for flat Earth, right? I'm
Why?
not scared to say that.
That's
Now
exactly
keep
right.
going. Keep going with his own words, Kosho.
exactly
Don't
right.
cherry pick.
No, you did it fine. He's right. If he would have posted the data that he found, it wouldn't look good for the flat Earth.
And
Why,
what does he
Kosho?
say after that? And what does he say after that?
He looks at the camera and smirks. I don't know.
And what does he say in future? In his future words.
I've already responded to that. I've already said that he makes.
Oh, really?
something up.
You're scared
Rakia,
to say it?
Stop talking, Rakia.
Yeah, you got to shut me down now.
Rakia, stop doing that, dude.
Yeah, just shut me down now when we get to the juicy
Yeah, I'm
part,
just
right?
gonna mute you. You can talk over my answer.
I know you will.
Fucking hell, dude. He says he makes something up. He makes up that it's the ether that's moving it. He says that the ether, there's some fucking He makes up some definition of ether in which it can move a gyroscope. When we know that ether doesn't exist, and even if it did,
That's
it
what he
doesn't do that.
says.
Yeah. We know how gyroscopes work.
Really? What?
Just tell us what he
What does
says.
he say after that? No, Kosho is an expert on what he says. We like listening to experts like Kosho.
What he
I
says
like
next,
exposing
what he
Kosho
says
as a
next,
cherry
Rakia,
picker.
you wanted your answer. What he says is there's going to be more experiments. They want to put it in a bismuth tube and all this shit, and then he invoked fucking magical ether. That's what happened. But the point of all that is Bob Nodell had to go to somebody, not realizing that he was on camera, and keep this between me and you. Don't tell anyone type shit. That's the level
I don't
of
see why,
that's the
though.
level
I
of
mean,
honesty
why-
that Bob Nodell has. Oh, that's not what I heard. You must have biased ears. He was very open about it.
Yeah, but even still, that Kosho, can you
please?
Go on, Bev.
In the chat there, everybody check. That's Howard. That is you, left lane, right? That's
Great, man.
you
You don't
on
need to interrupt.
Twitter.
You don't need to interrupt to bring that up, though, man.
Well, that's
So,
the one that
Rakia,
he said he'd
you're
never
going to-
done. Look, read it. Everyone can read it.
Okay. Rakia, can you tell
I've
us?
got a
what
bunch
you
of
think he said?
surplus inventory of big hose.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. Just don't say that Howard
That's
isn't
great,
doing
dude.
anything.
Yeah,
He is.
yeah,
He's got a test. He
Yeah,
wants to
we're
do
in the
it.
middle of a conversation involving everyone else in the room. Okay, so
Howard's a liar. Kosho won't shut up either. Come on, Kosho.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Habit, are you lying? I mean, you did say you didn't say that, and Bev has just found information that you may have said that, so what do you say to that? Left lane, is that left lane you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, somebody read that. I can't read it. I'm driving.
He just read it. He says that you said it said what he said.
Oh,
it said.
I've got a bunch of surplus inventory like big hose.
Yeah.
I made this myself. Did I
Yeah.
say I was doing an experiment?
No, you were talking about the water level test, right?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of surplus inventory in my warehouse. I got a bunch of big hoses. I may do
don't
this
worry.
myself.
I was sticking up for you, Howard. I was sticking up for you.
So how do you
Timo
interpret
says you
that?
never do anything, and I've just said like you are going to do something.
How do you interpret? How do you interpret that? How do you interpret that to say that I'm doing a test?
Well, what does it say on the thing? I'll read it, right? Geez, Bev, it's been shown your fallacy. I don't know why you conflate geometric terms with survey terms. Take your 1,000 meter water level, add a middle tube, pull it out, sight a chord, point A to C, point B will be high. I've got a bunch of surplus inventory of big hose. I may do this myself. I mean, look, you've got the method and everything. You're just saying you may do it. That's all I was saying to Kosho.
Wait, let Flame fucking ask his fucking question.
Jesus
How
Christ.
do you interpret?
Jeez, Jose. Calm down,
Does anyone here interpret that as saying I'm doing a test? Does anyone else?
No, that says nothing about you doing any test whatsoever.
That's what you
He
said.
says he's got a load
No,
of
no, no.
surplus
Wait.
equipment. What's it? What do you think
Bev,
he's
do you
doing?
know what the meaning of May means?
What?
What is the meaning of May?
Right. Okay. So you have to
May.
promise.
No,
or
he
something,
didn't say
yeah.
I'm going to do it. He say I may do it myself.
Yeah, well, that's all
not
I
like
said.
I'm going to do
I
it
just said
now,
he'd be
tomorrow,
doing it.
or at any
Why would
time.
let him speak
I
for
think
himself?
he's confirmed now. He's definitely not doing it. That was a big fat lie, right, Howard?
Do
You
what?
had no intention of doing it. When you said May, you didn't mean May. You meant no. I'm definitely not going to do it.
I've got the
Completely
desire.
misrepresented him, Bill. You know you did. You just misrepresented what he said. Now, goddamn it,
No,
be honest.
He's got the desire to
He
do
did
it.
say it was
Yeah,
high
he's
in
not
the
honest.
middle.
He already double speaking. He already doubling down on the double speak.
No,
High
that's
in the middle,
Yeah,
guys.
they're defending the liar Howard.
Yeah,
Obviously liar Howard.
You are a fucking piece of shit, clearly, for calling people liars that you don't know. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
yeah, that's you,
just
Jose.
internet
That's you,
potatoes,
Jose.
Jose. Don't get upset. Don't worry.
Just go fuck
Let's
yourself, all you
face this,
fucking
internet
dishonest
potatoes.
pieces of
Don't
shit.
worry about it.
Yeah, you've misrepresented me, and you've proved it yourself.
No, I've just got the thing and read out what you posted. I've not said anything other than that.
You said he was coming from you, Bev. Did you talk for 2 years about your experiment and not I'm going to do it? And you're not going to do
We're
it.
talking about an experiment. You guys don't even know what an experiment is.
Bev. Sorry.
I'm upset. Yeah.
Sorry.
Always
Yeah.
upset Jose.
Never
He's
mind.
always whining and crying.
Bev doesn't understand
All
English,
these
he doesn't
years and
understand
don't
survey.
even know what
I'm crying
geometry is. It must
because
be
I call you
terrible.
dishonest. I told a few truths and those hurt you, right? And that's why you say I'm
No, you
crying.
slander
You butted in
Jose.
because you're
I never
butthurt.
said anything to you, Jose. Why you
Go
crying
fuck
to me?
yourself, piece of
Yeah.
shit, you
Listen at
liar,
him.
Bev. Yeah.
Listen at him.
Go on, another liar.
Because the show's dying, I guess.
Yeah,
Please.
liar.
Substantiate your claim, Jose. Another
Yeah,
one
you a
again.
liar. You say you say you're gonna do a test and you're never gonna do it.
Oh, I'm
Liar.
just glad it came out. I'm glad it came out on this platform. I'm glad it came out.
Yeah, so people can defend your lie.
Yeah, you
So
got
people
me.
can defend your lie.
Hey, Rakia, fuck you,
Yeah.
piece of shit.
Hey,
Oh, look
your
at
true
his
colors
colors.
are coming
He's
out, huh?
liars.
Bro, are
Rocky.
you triggered?
So you're not
Oh,
triggered.
Roger, you're triggered.
Expect me not to be triggered?
Don't
I
let
have-
the liars get
I
mad.
have the hose, I have the equipment, and I may do the test.
And that's no slander. It's a fact that I'm stating. You are a liar, babe, and that's a fact. It's no
come round
slander.
here later and I'll show you how I can do it. And with
I don't have any
we've made
interest
it
on
to the,
listening anything from you.
curvature.
You are
Curvature.
you are
I've got-
monodimensional. Mono is monkey in Spanish.
I've got my pipe here. I've got right. Yeah.
Can we go back to Rakia? Rakia, can you tell us your version of what Bob said?
I can tell you that Kosho's an expert on what
No,
Bob said.
I'm not. I didn't. I'm talking about Kosho. I asked about Bob. What your version of what he said?
I think it's funny. I think it's funny that y'all think a flat earther, one who's
And you're not
openly
going
a
to
flat
answer
earther,
that.
has proven the rotation of the earth,
He's the
which
best.
actually
Y'all.
has nothing to do with the shape of the earth.
It-
But I
it's-
think it's funny. Y'all bring him up all the time.
What else do you believe Bob Neldale showed you, huh? Anything
Yeah,
else
what do you-
Bob Neldale proved to you?
Bob is a
Rakia,
scammer and a
my
liar.
question is
He lie about
quite
everything he say.
simple.
He's just a money making.
He was lying about what experiment he did and about what the results were.
He's lying about the results. He say ether.
Or do you accept that part?
Everybody a liar.
Like you do.
He say
NASA,
ether. He say he's been a pilot. He say he's been in many things. So he have been proven to be a liar.
You just accept the part that fits your narrative religion, right? The part.
No, I don't accept anything. I don't accept anything. I don't have to.
Raquel,
Because he's a known liar.
You're defending Bob Nodell.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Try me. Prove me right. Prove me wrong. Prove me right. Evidence that I have defended, that I have agreed with Bob. Anything.
Guys, we're gonna have to stop shouting at each other.
You sure are piping up a lot when the subject is about Bob Nodell.
Why you rather argue?
Calling everybody a liar would be quiet. Jose's calling everybody a liar.
That's great. Now everybody.
Not everybody, just the flat earthers and the known liars like.
So Kosher, then, so this evidence for Earth rotation from Bob, you said that he said the flatties would be worried. Why? I can't. Why is that the case?
Somebody presented a video where he says that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think Bob? Why would Bob say that? Why would we be worried?
Because
he's a liar.
That's evident. Because that would be direct evidence that the Earth is indeed spinning, which was the point of his test.
Yeah, but Kosher, you do understand. Yeah, but
the point of him getting the gyroscope. Hold on, Kimo.
Which part is he lying about?
Go on.
Stop.
Go on.
The point of him using the gyroscope was to try to determine if the Earth were rotating. It would be making a distinction for it rotating or not rotating.
Yeah.
So when he found that he got a reading, he thought that this did not look good for the flat Earth. I mean, it's perfectly obvious.
Well, again, why? Okay, you just said that. So I was saying, if we follow the scientific method, why on earth would that? If we follow, Kosher, for example, if we follow the scientific method, Kosher, why? So Kosher, if we follow the scientific method, why would the results of this experiment ever be a worry for flat Earth? You explain to me. So Kosher, we follow the scientific method. So you know that we follow the observed phenomenon, and we have to manipulate the independent variable. So if Bob hadn't manipulated the independent variable, why on earth would any flat earther be worried about the results of this test measurement experiment? Kosher.
It doesn't matter what kind of test that you do, if it's a scientific experiment or if you're just looking at the gyroscope.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is that you turn the gyroscope on and it's sitting still on the table.
Yeah.
And still is reading still reading some rotation.
Yeah. But I'm saying to you, I'm asking you a question. If you know that we follow. Chris, hold on a second. Let me just ask Kosher a quick question here, Chris. Chris, hold on a second. Let me just ask Kosher a question about this gyroscope. Chris, just 1 second, please. I'll be quick. I just want to get an answer from Kosher. And then you can jump in. And you can ask me anything you like, Chris.
Part of that experiment is when Bob put the gyroscope on the globe, on his little standard globe that you buy from the store, and started spinning it, and it came up with the same thing as if he were measuring the rotation of the Earth.
Okay, Kosher. Okay, thank you, Leo. Kosher. Okay, fine. Hold on, Jeremy, a second, please. Okay, Leo, you just asked your question. Fine. I'm asking Kosher. When he knows that we follow.
Go ahead and wave that away.
Yeah, we can get back to that.
That is the most valid point about this subject.
I know, but we're just talking about Bob's experiment.
How that can happen on a globe.
Chris, you just said that. Are you going to repeat it 3 or 4 times? Okay, so Kosher, you know that we follow the scientific method. Do you know what steps we follow? Observe phenomenon, manipulate independent variable, cause and effect. So, if you know that,
and he did.
If you know that, Kosher, why would flat earthers be worried about the results if there was no manipulation of an independent variable?
Even though he shielded it with bismuth tubes and shit like that, and still got the reading, so he did manipulate variables. Chemo. So I'm going to ask you: is this a measurement in an observation that Bob did, or is it science?
Well, this is the phenomenon. You've got something moving because of something else. Yeah.
I'm asking you.
The gyro is doing something. In effect, what caused the gyro to move? The Earth turn. So why would Kosho think this is going to worry the flat earther when he knows that we follow a method where you have observed phenomenon, you manipulate your independent variable? So how on earth, Kosher, would this be a worry for the flat Earth community?
He put it in a lead box and
I think it's Bob that was worried. Well,
Kosho, you're not going to answer this question. I'm just asking you, why would it be a worry knowing we follow a method? Yeah? So without this method, we don't know anything. Your method.
Responding to your question. Please stop talking over them, dude.
I'm asking you. They're ever talking my question to you, Kosho. You should be modding them for me.
Blue Marble. No, Chemo. You need to be moderating better. There's people talking.
You should be like, oh, hold on a second. Kemo's asking me a question, guys. Can you let him ask us a question, like you've been doing all day long?
They're answering your question.
Well, what's the answer?
Why is he my point though, Kosho?
No, Chris, hold on with that. Okay.
What's the answer then, Kosho?
Go straight to the heart of his whole.
It's not to the heart. It's not to the heart of it, Chris. It was a good point. It's a good point, but it's not related to what we're talking about.
It goes directly line in line with what we're talking about, and it shows that when he put it on a globe that you go buy from the store and rotated it, it showed that it was moving, or it showed.
Okay, we got that.
You've said it 3 times now, Chris.
Yeah, but you're just hand waving it away.
We didn't see anyone. Did you see Bob? Did you see Bob do this, Chris?
Yes, he showed it on his video.
Let's have a look then. Show us.
Why do I need to rehash something that's
okay? So we can't see the observed phenomenon now. With Bob Kosho, he had an experiment where he said the cause was the Earth turn. So why would we be worried with this so-called experiment if we can't manipulate our independent variable?
As I stated,
I just explained to you how he did.
I couldn't hear you, Kosho. Sorry.
Pure has already described how he isolated from other things in the.
Isolated what?
Yeah, colon chemo. And simply by putting it on a table in a house that's not rotating, in a room that's not rotating, and the gyroscope is being read, that tells you that the Earth is rotating. Something is rotating to make that happen.
Okay.
Right?
But like I said,
get the mod to stop that thing from going on there, right? I do not claim people are predators when they show up to the server.
Will you quit doing that?
Can you please stop people posting things like that? You've got mods here, right?
Quit doing that, Bev. I'm trying to mod right now, but I ask you to quit interrupting with these fucking sideways comments.
Well, I'm just asking for some proper moderation, right?
What happened?
I mean, I've had to have unsubstantiated claims of all sorts of shit all day.
Are you asking?
Somebody's writing something about me claiming people are predators when they turn up at Discord servers.
Let's be
That's
clear.
That's not
Bev.
true, is it?
Bev, are you asking to be muted? Yes or no?
No, I'm asking for you to have some moderation. Get people to stop doing that. Thank you very much.
Don't tell me you're asking for proper moderation. Because step 1 of proper moderation right now would be to mute you off-topic cunt. Shut the fuck up.
If you have a problem in the chat, just type in the chat, man.
He's doing it again.
The modding here has been.
Go get QE to fight your battles for you like Jeremy. Not Jeremy. Mr. Reality tries to.
Oh, it's been dealt with.
Modding in here has
been dealt with.
Modding in here has been crazy lately. I've been getting muted for crazy reasons.
Well, let's try to get back to
hot mic, Jeremy. Hot mic.
I'm not hot mic, and I'm talking to you.
No, that's a hot mic, Jeremy.
It's been dealt with.
That's Chemo. Chemo knows all about hot mics, don't you, Chemo?
Thanks, Chemo.
Yeah. So, Kosho, back to you now.
All right, already responded to it. I'm waiting for your response now.
Hey?
Already responded to it, Chemo. I'm waiting for your response.
Yeah, so you're saying we have a cause and effect. So we have movement in the gyro. You're saying the Earth is causing that movement, yeah?
I'm saying it's not the room he's in. It's not the table he put it on. It's not the house he's in. But it's still reading a rotation.
Reading a rotation. I know, it's reading a rotation, yeah?
It's expected that it would not be rotating. That's why he got it. Because he wanted to test to see if the Earth was rotating. That's the only reason he got it.
I know.
Literally the only reason.
I hear you. You're saying there was a reading on this device. And the cause of this effect is the Earth turn. Yeah? You're saying that's the only reason. It can't be anything else. That's the only reason. Yeah?
That was the exact same reason that he predicted that it would be if there was a reading. That's why he got it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's part of the hypothesis. You predict that the Earth is causing this to give a reading. That's normal. Yeah, that's okay. So, you understand that far, yeah? You understand so far. So
was the
you predicted
was the Earth twisting or flipping, or which way was it moving?
No, he just predicted that the Earth is moving, and he's going to get a reading in this device. That's fine. Kosho, that's fine. So now, how did they manipulate their independent variable to show that it was the Earth causing this effect?
Told you. They were not in a rotating room. They were not in a rotating table.
Uh-huh.
They were not in a rotating house. Okay? They put it on a stationary table in a stationary room in a stationary house.
Yeah.
This is how they isolate. This is how they isolate it from any other type of movement.
What was the cause? The cause was the Earth rotating. Yeah.
Kimo. Why did they went and spend $20,000 on this instrument? What for?
Hold on. Kosho, what's the cause?
That's the first question, Kimo. Why did they go and spend $20,000 on that instrument?
To see if they can find out a cause and effect. These things are expensive. Now,
What?
Kosho.
What cause and effect? They're going to take it apart.
Kosho, you said there's an effect, yeah? And you're saying the cause of that effect is the Earth turn, yeah? Yeah? No? Yes? What's the cause?
It's only been said 16 times, Kimo.
You haven't said it. You've said something about tables and chairs and houses.
They isolated from everything else.
That's not what I asked you, though. I asked you, is the cause... I didn't ask that.
Yeah.
I said the cause of the reading is the Earth. If the Earth wasn't turning, there would be no reading.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. That's your hypothesis. So, how can we now show that when you don't turn the Earth, there's no reading, that you manipulated your variable to show cause and effect?
Earth turning is your independent variable. You need to manipulate and vary that.
It's you guys are limiting yourself by bringing up these stupid way of doing a test.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do a test in the stringent way in which you're describing. You can simply make sure that there's nothing else that's going to be affecting that gyroscope, and then set it down. And you can predict beforehand what it should do if the Earth were rotating. And when it does that exact thing, that tells you the Earth was rotating. You don't just make up a reason why it was making that reading afterward.
Yeah, again, you're still in the hypothesis stage. This should tell me this. That's what you're doing. You're saying that this should be the outcome. Nothing wrong with that. How are you testing the cause, the independent variable? How are you manipulating your sole variable that causes this? How are you manipulating that?
Because we've asked the question: is it the sky that's rotating and causing the drift or that? So when you isolate it in the bismuth tube, the lead box and shit that popped in, then you manipulated your independent variable.
No. In order to manipulate your independent variable, you would have to wiggle your Earth, which is the variable that says...
No, we don't.
Well, how are you going to know then if it caused it or not?
Well, if it's the sky that's rotating, you've isolated it from being able to read the sky or the stars and whatever shit you all make up. So it's already been isolated.
How did you manipulate Earth turn?
Yeah.
Why was Bob surprised to pick up a 15 degrees per hour? Well, why was he surprised?
Let's give an example. Chris just said that Bob put the gyro on a ball and spun the ball and it picked up a reading. So that means if we stop the ball, put the gyro on the ball, stop the ball from spinning, we don't get a reading. So we've manipulated our independent variable. We can see that the rotation is the cause of the reading. Kosho, how did you replicate Chris's hypothesis that he said Bob did that we haven't seen? Where the ball was turning, reading, ball wasn't turning, no reading.
Yeah. Thankfully, the world is not as retarded as you guys are, and they aren't limited by the same things you guys are.
Possibly.
The thing that Bob did was, like everybody, like we said earlier, you notice the sky's moving, and Rakia asks, "Is the sky moving?"
Yeah.
How you know it's not? I mean, how do you know it's not the Earth, the sky moving? It's the Earth moving.
Yeah.
Rakia, Bob then got a device that would test to see if the Earth's moving. And the thing is,
all right. So before you monologue, real quick,
hold on. The stars
It was
rotate.
on a ball.
Hold on.
It was on a ball. It was on a
Stop
ball.
doing that, dude.
Is that right?
Stars rotate at 15 degrees per hour, which is the exact.
That's the hypothesis. Yeah, hypothesis.
Right? Yeah. So stop.
Carry on.
The fact that the sky rotates at one rate, and then the object that's supposed to measure if the Earth is rotating picked up a reading that is rotating at the same exact
hypothesis.
rate.
Yeah. Carry on.
Tells you that you indeed are on the thing that's moving. And it's not
That's the
sky.
hypothesis. That's your prediction. Yeah, that's what you're predicting to happen, right? Everything you've just said is what you suppose will happen when you manipulate your independent variable. Yeah? So nice hypothesis. Now can we test it?
This isn't a hypothesis. This is the results of the test.
No, that's your hypothesis. You're saying, well, this must be because of this and that, and there can be no must be without you wiggling or manipulating your independent variable. How is there a must? How can you have a must just because I think so?
Anthony Riley doesn't make up the rules of science.
No, you're saying there must be because I think so. I'm sure there is. There's got to be. There must be. Without a scientific experiment to manipulate and wiggle it, your independent variable.
Yeah, the independent variable in this test is the gyroscope. It's the thing that's changing.
The gyroscope
it's
is the
independent.
Jeremy.
Yeah, it's the thing that's changing. In order to make a gyroscope do that, you need something rotating.
Where's Jeremy?
So there's
Jeremy heard that. Did you hear that? He said gyro is the independent variable.
No, the gyroscope is the dependent variable.
Oh, dependent variable. Okay.
Yeah, and
I just want to know which ball is spinning, the little ball or the giant ball, or both. Are they spinning the same way? You got it on a ball. Is that right?
Come on, Kosher. Don't leave us hanging. You're the rotation guy.
Every time he asks a stupid question. Yeah.
There are no silly questions, Kosher.
He's asking about a little ball and a big ball.
Yeah, two balls spinning, and you're saying it's rotating. Which ball is moving?
Talking about the Earth.
The big ball is moving?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they put it on
It's
a
a
little
fucking
ball.
retarded question. And Jeremy, if you try to insist that I need to answer questions like that, dude, don't be like that, Jeremy. That's fucking retarded.
Right, Kosher, let's get back to the rotation. You said,
small balls.
Kosher, now do you see why we're not worried about Bob's experiment? There's just no way we can be worried where Bob says, oh, the flatties won't like this. I mean, why? Is there any... I mean, look how much hassle you're getting. Does it look like the flat earth is above it?
Here's the thing about that. So, independent of, it being set on the table on the Earth, when we have... when they are... taking up an aircraft, they still read the 15 degrees per hour.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about cause and effect. Did the Earth cause your reading? If so, we've got to manipulate it. Not hard.
Well, we've already manipulated. We've blocked it from the proposed the secondary hypothesis of it's reading the stars, so it's been isolated away from that, and still getting 15 degrees per hour. It's been taken up in aircraft.
Again, you're still in the hypothesis stage. You're saying, well, this is what we would do, how we would do it, this is what should be done, and then I predict that this will be the outcome.
Independent of it sitting flat on
Is there anywhere you can have a gyro spinning where it doesn't show a 15-degree rotation? Anywhere? In the sky? On the ground?
Oh,
anywhere.
You tell us. Why is it still getting 15 degrees per hour?
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Yeah. Apparently. That's all you can prove. That's what they do.
You turn them on, they read that.
And I'm back to my question. Why the hell did Bob went and spend $20,000 on something that eventually can prove if the Earth is moving or not moving? Why the hell did he do it?
Because he's an installed agent to distract.
The point is, science is supposed to tell us the cause of the effect.
No, tell me.
I'd agree with
why
that.
did he went and spend $20,000?
Why is he your best evidence?
No, he's not my. Well, why? Because he went and put the money in. I wouldn't, but he did.
Great, so he wasted 20 G's. I don't care.
He wasted
evidence.
So you say Bob is stupid because he bought an instrument he shouldn't bought in the first place because it can't prove anything anyway.
Not stupid, but people have been installed to distract, and there's plenty of propaganda around the flat Earth question.
You see, once Beth went and did his experiment, if that ever happened, he would turn to be an agent. Because when a flat earther does an observation properly, he turns to be an agent.
Oh my God. So the science is supposed...
What? All surveyors would be agents?
Go do your observation.
Wow. Any observation of a horizontal marked as a vertical change is an agent if they do it, what?
Go do your observation, Bev.
Yeah, that's how we use an auto level.
Where's your gyroscope at the pole? Where is it?
Who's Bob Nodell? Do you know him? Who are globe busters? Do you know them?
Bob proved
do you
that a
know any
gyro
of these
should be
people?
still at the pole if it's Earth or rotation.
We're not allowed
Where
to
is
talk
your
about people
stationary
that aren't
gyro
here,
at
are
the
we?
pole?
Is that not a thing, right?
Anybody who disagrees with you, just call him an agent. Move on.
Just,
I saw it on
you're just
YouTube,
not
man.
allowed to talk about people that aren't here, right? Because they can't defend themselves. You can't state them as a proof. I mean, we had that earlier. Or are you going back on that? Are you changing your ideas?
The point is, the science behind this is supposed to tell us the cause. Science tells us causes to effect. You guys got a cause and an effect, I guess, but you can't
Citation,
validate it because you can't
What's the
manipulate.
cause?
They can't manipulate their cause. They're independent variable.
Citation, please, of science
What
saying
is the
that.
cause?
Yeah, turn the
Gyro
gyroscope off. See what it does. It'll do nothing. You turn it on, it shows you some type of rotation, some type of error because it's uncalibrated.
What about
Do
at
you
the
trust-
pole, man?
do you trust
This
your
should
senses,
prove,
Jose?
This should prove it.
No, I need glasses. I cannot trust my senses. Sometimes I feel something and I say, this is cool. And then I see my skin burning. Fucking A, I don't even feel the heat. I cannot trust my senses. No, I can't.
Fight the Flat Earth said exactly that. Yeah, you can't trust your senses. It's just an indistinguishable blur.
That's
You
a
can't
fact.
use your
I
senses.
can't. I need
Are you guys
glasses.
agents
I
or
cannot
something?
feel
You
when
guys
it's out of
agents?
roll sometimes.
You guys
You can't
agents?
see anything. Does that mean
Yeah.
nobody else can use?
Not necessarily. It's individually. So
Going
you
on?
cannot generalize. You cannot
What
generalize.
happened?
You can't. Like, yeah. Keep out there.
Right.
No, you
What happened,
cannot
Turk?
generalize
Right?
because I should be one of them and I'm different. So it's just a handful of people that cannot trust their senses. Everybody can.
What would happen at the pole?
I don't
bud?
drive.
If you got
I mean,
it on
so
a
you need
perfect,
a-
if you got
an-
it on a perfect pole,
You
it
need
should
a
just
gyroscope
spin
to
like
see
a
if the Earth's
ballerina.
moving or not. Yeah,
What?
good.
That's what I'm saying. We could use this gyroscope to find the perfect pole where it just spins like a ballerina forever and ever.
What does that mean? Spins like a ballerina.
Won't process, right? If you get it right on the fucking axis, bless you, it won't process, will it? Has nothing to process on.
There's going to be a rotation of 15 degrees per hour at the pole.
Not on the pole, there's not.
Sound like a fucking parrot.
I'm saying there won't be a mismatch from equilibrium point of the gyroscope balance. It'll still, it's going to rotate, but it won't. It won't.
I don't want your word salad right now, Don.
Wow. Brilliant.
It's going to spin
We'll say
around.
it better because you know what's going to happen. So say it the proper way. Help me out.
It's going to rotate around at the rate of the Earth, 15 degrees per hour, Doc.
A
But it
gyro.
won't lean.
Has anyone got a gyro?
Just a parrot.
I'm not talking about leaning.
Well,
What
think about your precession map. Like same thing with your gyro map precession and your focal
Precession
precession
map?
map. That won't happen. That won't happen up on the pole, dude.
This is not a Foucault pendulum.
We've already debunked Foucault pendulums.
What if we processed it at 15 degrees? Should it stay reading 0?
Geniuses. The gyroscope processes because its plane does not match its original starting plane compared to the Earth because the Earth is moving, right?
In all locations.
Except for the fucking axis. If it's rotating on a parallel plane from where the gyro's rotation is, you won't get that precession.
Just think about what you're saying, man. It's
So
not,
they're flipping over.
It's not a real axis. It's an imaginary axis. So when
It
you're actually
doesn't
at it-
matter.
Don,
This will help
Don,
you find.
Don. When you're
Is
somewhere
it flipping over?
when you're
Is it
somewhere other than
twisting?
the pole, the surface will go around it. It's at 15 degrees per
No
hour.
one wants
You're
to
standing
answer
at
that,
it, stop
do they?
talking. If you're at the pole,
Yeah, because you don't want to answer that. You talk over me twice.
if you're
Is it
at the
flipping
pole,
over?
dude, shut
or
the
is it
fuck
twisting?
up, dude. I swear to God, you're not gonna speak in your
Answer.
head again, dude. Don.
Is it flipping
If you're at
over or
the pole-
twisting?
All right, it's happening. Don, if you're at the pole, if you're at the pole, Don, then you yourself, imagine standing at the pole. Imagine standing in the middle of something.
I'm going to spin around, yes. I'm going to spin around.
You're rotating with it. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Right, but that would match. I'm rotating. If I started spinning myself first before I got up to the pole, and that spin that I was doing matched exactly that pole, I'm not going to start leaning over. I'm going to just be spinning around on the same plane, right? That's why a gyro fucking processes, because its plane of balance moves relative to its
Permission
starting
to
point.
speak.
It's a different kind of
Permission to
gyroscope.
speak.
Oh my
Is it
god!
flipping over or is it twisting?
Doesn't matter what kind of gyroscope, Coach.
I think what Don mean is find the place on Earth that the gyroscope will rotate the most. That means that's
or the fastest. Sure.
Yes, that's the pole. That's where
if you used a regular fucking gyroscope, dude, that thing ain't gonna lean the same way. Just because you guys are talking about your mechanical, every time y'all do this discussion, someone says, "What kind of gyroscope?" and you guys go, "Any kind, any kind."
No.
Oh, yes, y'all do. Oh, yes, y'all do.
The gyroscope that Bob Modell uses it's not a mechanical.
I get that he doesn't use that, but when we talk about gyroscopes processing, you guys always say use any one. You always say it, all of you.
We've been talking about a ring laser gyroscope.
No, it doesn't matter. I was talking about a gyroscope, period.
You didn't make that clear. We were all discussing Bob Nodell and his ring laser gyro.
My fault. I just said, why don't you take a gyroscope and put it on the fucking axial pole and prove to us that your Earth is a ballerina. Prove it to us. Where is the pole? Where is the pole gyroscope? Why are they scared to show this?
You want them to leave one there for everyone to see.
You think that, hold on, didn't you say it was a most extreme point? You think that science would have wanted to demonstrate this, but no, I forgot. You guys are just believers in science.
The North Pole is on ice that's always moving, Don.
Right, so what's your other half of your excuse, Chikey, for the super scientific research area down at the South Pole? What, you want to cover up that excuse?
Well, I don't know that they didn't do it.
Nothing about this gyroscope thing has anything to do with natural science. Don't worry.
Apparently, they're scared of it too. Apparently,
saying it's
supernatural. Just Bob's type of gyroscope and everywhere but the pole. I mean, and then what worried me, guys? I asked. I didn't want to get loud, but I asked the question real quietly, and nobody picked up on it. And then they start talking about agents and all this shit. And I'm like, well, why y'all don't want to talk about it?
And I asked you about it.
And I do thank you, sir. Thank you.
At best, this gyroscope thing is an affirming the consequent FP then Q fallacy, I think.
Yeah, you're just going to keep saying that it's this and it's this and it's this and no way to support it, Jeremy. Gotcha.
You realize, Don, you can do it anywhere on Earth. You just need to align the gyroscope with the rotation axis.
Right, but to eliminate ether or some other type of invisible wind variable, like you'd want to do it and demonstrate it on both poles, wouldn't you agree?
Ether or invisible wind?
You wouldn't want to do it on both poles. You also wouldn't want. Listen, you wouldn't want to do it like put it in the Gauss chamber.
You have no idea how this thing works.
No, you wouldn't want to do any of that. There's no need to do any of that.
I would.
Why don't you just turn all the satellites on and show us
If I need to eliminate it,
Earth
do what Bob
rotating?
Nodell did. Put it in a lead box. Put it in his bismuth chamber. Get it a bismuth tube and get the same reading, and then invoke ether because that's what happened.
I guess ether was a messy variable to example, but yeah, he does stuff like that for the ether. The stuff that I'm talking about could help you understand possibly your axial points or the shape of your land or something. But since you don't know the shape of the land, I understand why you don't want to do it.
No, you don't. There's no need for anybody to try and isolate from things that no one has evidence for. It doesn't make sense. It's a wasted effort.
There's no reason to travel 12,000 plus miles.
You wouldn't even have any idea of how to even isolate from because there's no evidence for it. So there's nothing that makes much sense, like this invisible wind or ether or anything else.
Coach, so that's what gets me in trouble. I feel so weird. I try to compartmentalize flat Earth like science-ish topics, and it's like it really gets you like just entertaining all. You know what I mean? You have to suspend so much belief to try to do the one thing and whatever. But yeah, I feel you, man.
Suspend understanding.
The globe is what you need to suspend your belief in.
Okay, Jeremy.
No, that's the reason people don't believe in a globe because they prefer globes. Okay, they believe in a globe because of the evidence that suggests it is a globe.
But that's the one you really need to suspend your belief for is the globe model.
No, this is the one that you can actually test for.
What happened to the so-called flat earthers then? What happened? What happened to their logic and their belief system? Why don't they want to believe in the stupid globe anymore?
I've just said if you're going from a position of wanting, you're already on the wrong stepped on the wrong foot, because you're not trying to believe things because you want them to be true. We're believing we believe because the evidence suggests it. It doesn't matter what we want to.
So what if I want to believe in the globe? What if I want the planet Earth to be real and all the shit I've been told my fucking life? What if I want all that to be true?
You can't. We won't let you.
I went looking for it. With everything I had, I've been out here for years.
You can't be on our
No
team.
one's produced a globe. There's no universe. It's all FUBAR.
Oh my god. See,
It's totally FUBAR.
This is why nobody wants you to play on their team, because you.
I'm not on anyone's team.
There is no universe.
Teams. There's no teams.
Stay that way.
What they do? What are you talking about? Is there a team?
All you've got is language and pictures. I mean, how can I believe in that? Why would anyone?
This is actually stupid. You literally hung on to the word team. Yeah.
Well, we have like a team of surveyors. I think Bev is part of that team of surveyors. No.
No, he's
Bev?
not. No, he's not.
Like you get. I mean, Raki is a part of
No,
them.
it
surveyors.
doesn't really matter. I just live in reality. People will laugh at anything, right? Straight lines curving. Circular straight lines. I mean, yeah. I'm not on that team.
Definitely not. No.
Definitely not. Right?
Straight is straight.
That's
curve
how
is
I'm going
curve.
to differentiate myself from now on, right? There's people that live in reality and can question reality and question things. And then there's a group of people that think straight lines are circles.
Yeah, the people that ask a question for 2 years and don't try
Is that the
to
team
answer
that
it.
you're on? Is that the team that you're on?
There are educated people that understand these things, aren't they?
They're on team.
And there's a group of people that think circles don't curve, Bev.
They're
What
on
do you think
team.
about them?
They're on team. They're on team. Ball
Circles don't curve.
Yeah, the equator is a straight line, baby.
They're the straight liners, right? The guys that
The
think
horizon.
everything's a straight line.
The horizon. They're
Yeah.
perplexed by the view of the horizon.
Straight line, isn't it? It's it's
They
really
think
weird. It's hard
Oh,
work.
are you one of those? You think the horizon is a straight line?
Yeah.
Oh,
Horizontals are
shame on you,
parallel
Bev.
to.
Hey,
Horizontals
Jeremy,
are parallel to the horizon.
listen to what your
Absolutely.
geometrical genius is trying to tell you, Jeremy.
Horizontals. Go and
for
look
you,
up
my
the
friend.
definition of a horizontal.
Yeah, we can put
Go and do
a
it.
we can put a ruler
Straight
across the
line.
horizon.
Oh my!
Yeah,
A
you can
straight
measure
line
it with
that
a
wraps all the way
tool.
around
Like
you,
you
eh?
measure it with a level.
Yeah.
You can put a
You
level
talk
on it.
about the
Crosshairs.
definition. You talk
Horizontal
about the
crosshair would be
definition.
exactly along it all the time.
Straight line that wraps all the way around you. I didn't say anything about your horizontal crosshair. Talking about the horizon.
You just said
Yeah,
wraps
yeah.
around.
Parallel to all horizontals are parallel to the horizon. Yes, true.
Parallel to.
Absolutely true fact. Horizontal is a straight line and it is parallel to the horizon. All right,
Oh
it's terrible.
And
Terrible fact for people to
horizontals are
take.
flat,
Jesus
aren't they,
fucking
Bev?
Christ.
Yeah.
Aren't horizontals flat, Bev?
Did you what? Yeah, horizontal is a straight line. isn't
Horizontals
it?
are flat. And they're
Yeah,
parallel
horizontal
to
plane
that
is
flat horizon,
a
Bev.
horizontal plane is a two-dimensional surface with
Parallel
containing
to the
all
flat
of the straight
horizon,
lines on
Bev.
it. Yes.
Parallel to the flat horizon, Bev.
Yeah, parallel to the plane of the horizon. Yes, that's how it's defined.
The flat
Horizontal.
horizon.
Yeah. Go on.
The horizon looks flat. Oh my God, it can't be a globe. No, it's exactly what we'd
No,
expect out here.
the horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Hey, Bev.
It's like you guys don't get it. Are you really this sad?
Well,
Bev,
I mean,
so
that is the
you said straight
mathematical
lines can't
definition
curve.
of a horizontal,
Bev,
right?
You said straight lines can't curve, but
Yep.
isn't the horizon a 360 degree
Parallel to the every horizontal. Yeah, so that
Straight
would make
line,
it a
everywhere
straight
you look.
line, right? Yeah.
Really?
A straight line.
Really, Bev?
Absolutely, yeah.
and it's 360 degrees. So my
Parallel.
horizon, when I look
Yep.
around, is
All
360
horizontals
degrees.
are
So how
parallel
does that
to the
straight
plane
line
of the
curve
horizon.
360
Therefore,
degrees?
the horizon
Sure,
must
sure,
be
Bev,
a straight
Bev,
line.
Bev, just a
Yeah,
second.
it's a straight
Look
line.
at the
no matter which way
horizon,
you're looking.
draw a straight line, turn right, draw a straight
Yeah.
line, and tell me they are
Exactly.
parallel, Bev.
Yeah. Two shared
No,
segments.
no,
right?
Bev,
Straight
Bev,
lines.
simple experiment. Simple experiment,
An
observation.
experiment. Sorry.
Yeah, observation.
Oh.
Look at the horizon, draw a straight
Just looking at
straight
something.
line, turn right, draw a straight line, and tell me those are those lines are parallel. Please.
Two straight lines.
Please. Yeah. 2 straight lines.
Yeah. On parallel to the plane of the horizon. Do you not understand
plane?
what that is?
Look, those 2 lines are on the horizon and are not parallel.
Yeah, Curve, tell him. It's a plane, a horizontal, isn't it? It's not a line.
What is
tell
it?
Tell him, Curved. A horizontal isn't a line, it's a plane. You do understand that, don't you? Is that Jake?
Yeah. No.
I'm sure. Is
a plane can be horizontal. A line can be horizontal.
Yeah. But when it's a horizontal, it is a plane, isn't it?
It could
like
be a
horizontal. All the lines on a horizontal plane.
That horizontal line will be part of a horizontal plane, of course. But
yeah.
You're just saying you're doing it wrong. It's like there's something broken in your brain that prevents you from thinking correctly.
Curve, are you disagreeing?
Correctly.
Are you disagreeing with the fact that
let's change your name to
horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon?
Sir? Are you capable? Are you capable of engaging in a conversation with somebody else who's engaging in the manner in which you engage?
Okay.
Don't stop talking because I'm talking, Bev. Keep talking. Go ahead. Let's see how much gets through.
Right. Do you want me to state my case now?
You're going to be fucking quiet.
Oh, right. Okay. Go on then. What are you talking about? Go on.
I think you've been inhaling too many solvents. You need to get some better ventilation, Jeremy.
Enough of
That's his argument. Curve's argument is just talking shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, Bev, it's parallel. So what? That means the horizon's flat. What do you expect it to look like?
Straight line.
No. And this conversation's over. You're retarded.
Okay. So if all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, then, in order to be parallel, and a horizontal's definitely a straight line, isn't it? Because it's perpendicular to vertical. So in order for the horizon to be parallel to the plane of that horizontal, then, wow, I guess the horizon must be a straight line. I mean, you can bend horizontals if you want. You can go full bend horizontal if you want.
For sure. Isn't the horizon?
Isn't the horizon what?
A circle.
Wow.
Is it the horizon what?
The horizon is not a donagon.
Yeah, the horizon is a straight line.
A circle around you.
It's a circle around you.
Wow. Is that me or is that him? Is he got?
It doesn't matter. This horizon is a circle around you.
Let me sort that out.
But when you say straight line, Bev, do you mean physical horizon? Or not?
Well, no, I just mean, like, if you look up the definition of horizontal in any dictionary and the mathematical definition of it, because people trust maths, that horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. Now, I'm not making that up. I'm just pointing it out to people. Make of it what you will. Do what you want with it. I just hand out information. Check a dictionary. Go.
And
check a mathematical dictionary, right? Type in horizontal mathematical definition.
That's fantastic. Can a plane be a circle?
A plane is. Have a look at plane as well while you're at it, right? A plane is a two-dimensional figure with no bounds, no edges.
You can draw a circle on a 2D plane.
So
yeah,
you got the echo.
Kosher,
you got the echo there.
If a plane was a circle, that would make it a flying saucer.
No, a two-dimensional figure, a circle, is two-dimensional, right? That's a plane.
You can have
also, you can get three coplanar points to make a triangle. That's also a plane.
Fantastic. You can have a plane.
A true square having right angles would also be a plane figure.
Beth, you can have a circular area on a plane. And if you have this area and you were defining its borders from the center position, and this happened to be the exact same distance that is the extent to how far you can see in all those directions, you'd be talking about your horizon. So if somebody asks you, is the horizon a circle around you? The answer is yes.
What makes the circle, Kosho?
It's not a circle. Optically, when you look at it,
Hang
it's a
on.
horizontal
Hang on a
straight
second.
line.
Hang on a second. I don't talk that often in here. What makes the circle?
It's the extent to how far you can see. So that extent in all directions makes a circle.
So, if the Earth was a square, you'd see it as a circle, right?
The horizon would still be a circle around you. Yes.
So it's to do with your eyesight while we see in 360 degrees, right?
No, we don't see in 360 degrees.
Well, we do, because we see straight out in front of us, and we've got peripheral vision as well. But if we turned in a 360 degree,
No, okay, so we don't, even with our peripheral, it's what, like 100. I think a total with our peripheral vision is what, like
130.
Yeah, 130, 140, somewhere in there.
well, the only way you're gonna. Sorry, Jeremy. The only way you're going to see in 360 is to do a full circle and turn around.
Yeah, for you to fucking move.
Right. This is the way we perceive reality. It doesn't mean it is reality.
The horizon is all about your perception. It's about where you are and the extent to what you can see from where you are.
A circle's all about the center point and a distance from that center. What distance are you talking? Because if you don't have a distance, you can't describe a circle, dude. You
just described that. The extent to the distance you can see.
And what is that distance? Otherwise, you cannot describe a circle.
Yeah, whatever your
Whatever. Well, that's not a dimension of a circle. You stand here, put your point there for a compass and thing, and anyway, as far as you can see. Go on.
All right, Bev.
That's not a circle. I'm sorry.
I'm going to ask you this anyway, Bev. Now you're standing out in the middle of open waters, okay? You're on a boat, and you're looking out across the ocean.
Yep.
And you're looking at your horizon. Now, you're fixed on a point straight ahead of you. You're focused on that point.
Yep.
Do you think that the distance to that point that you can see of the horizon is closer to you
What distance?
than the distance to the horizon in your periphery?
I don't know. What? If I'm looking out towards an apparent position, I'm trying to judge how far away that apparent position is compared to the bit that I can't see behind me.
I'm not asking you to judge anything. I'm
if
asking
I look down at my feet, then my feet are definitely closer, right?
What I'm asking you is, when you're looking at the horizon, do you think it's reasonable and adult-like to think that for some reason in your periphery, the horizon is farther away from you than the center, which would be like the radius of the horizon?
Further away than the center?
Yeah, if it's a straight line, what's it going to do? The periphery is going to be farther away from you. Imagine a triangle.
I don't know. Are you measuring this, or are you just assuming?
I'm using geometry and logic
at a certain place.
No,
Using
I'm
geometry.
using
Okay.
geometry.
All right,
Dude,
go on.
you asked me a question. Why? Why did you ask me a question?
Please
If you're
describe
gonna
the
talk over
circle then, if you're using
Bob,
geometry.
Why are
Describe
you
the
talking
circle
over?
properly.
You asked a question. I'm not going to stop until you shut the fuck up and listen to the answer.
Go on.
Now it's a triangle.
I asked you to describe a circle.
You fucking cunt. I should fucking boot you. I just should. But I'm not going to, because I'm not as bad as you.
Okay.
The triangle, Bev. The base of the triangle is, in your vision, you're asserting the horizon is like the base of a triangle. As you're looking out to the horizon, that it would be farther away from you off to the sides than it is in the center. That's what a straight line would do. If you're looking orthogonal to a line, off to the left, it would get farther away from you. Off to the right, it would get farther away from you. This is a basic geometric concept. I am shocked and horrified that you, the proclaimed geometrical genius that Jeremy says you are, can't get this.
Okay, well, you're in a boat in the middle of the water and you're looking. We're taking azimuthal angle, right? So you plot north. That's right in front of you, north. and we're doing azimuthal, right? So we're turning clockwise, 120 degrees. We go, bam, mind place on the horizon point. Turn another 120 degrees. Bam, boof. Another point on the horizon. Another 120 degrees back to your original point. Bam, another point on the horizon.
What the
You're
actual
kind of
fuck?
stupid, Bev.
That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Right. It had literally nothing to do.
I'm explaining to you why your horizon is not a straight line as you're trying to say.
Picture yourself in a shot put ring.
No, put yourself in a medical clinic. a
Horizon,
mental home.
all of them.
Plane.
Plane.
Even if the Earth was flat.
Are you on the plane
Bev,
of that
Bev,
triangle that you've just
Bev.
made with 3 points?
Bev, you
It
are
is
the
a triangle,
point.
right?
Bev,
You're
even on a
one of
flat
the points of that
plane.
triangle, you
Even if
dumbass.
you had a
So
flat
if you're
plane,
standing in the boat and you're looking
Is it-
out,
No, we
Bev,
put 3 points
Bev,
on the horizon,
Bev,
dude.
Bev,
I'm not one of the
Bev,
points of a
Bev,
triangle.
shut the fuck
Bev,
up.
listen to me.
It's the center of a
Even-
triangle.
You're
Bev,
looking
Bev,
at
Bev,
anything else.
triangle.
Danik will do all the talking from here on out, whether you like it or not. That's just the way it is.
Bev, if we have a flat plane.
Wow.
regardless of
Hey,
flat
hey,
or-
Danik.
Can you?
Where's Moyok, man? Can we get him to talk as well?
Can you
Stop talking over people.
just listen
Moyok,
for a
Moyok, go.
second? If you had a flat plane,
oh, he's here,
and you looked out as far as you could see, and that limit was based on the limits, the diffraction.
It has nothing to do with the flat
angular
plane.
resolution limits of your eye. There would be a horizon that would be a circle around you.
We just
Equal
put
distance.
3 points on it though, at
Hold on,
120
hold on,
degrees.
hold on. You got to stop. You got to stop that. I heard you do it with curve. Don't do it with me.
Okay.
You have a diffractive limit. You have the limit of the angular resolution of your eye. It would be at some distance. That implies there's a radius. You look around you, that would be a radius.
No. You can't
Stop
describe a
talking.
circle
You
without the
gotta stop,
distance.
Bev. When someone's talking,
Don't
you
just
shut
say
the fuck
there's
up.
a radius. You're
Bev,
waving a bloody
By
radius around
definition,
like it's a
by definition,
wielded
by de-
weapon.
Bev.
There's the radius.
Bev. By definition, the diffractive limit is a distance. If that is the limit of
By
your eye's
definition.
resolution, that'll
Does it
be
say
the
that?
point. That'll be the point
This
of the
is
horizon.
irrelevant
The
to what
horizon
Bev said,
will be a circle around you because by definition,
Zanuck,
what the
fuck,
man?
Zanuck just goes through what talk to him. I don't want to interrupt you, Zanuck, but you're babbling nonsense at the moment. The
How is that?
distance of the horizon is
Danik, do
not
that.
caused by the diffractive limit of your eye.
The horizon.
This is not about angular resolutions, Zanuck.
Listen.
You're being Wikia dumb right now.
Just
Curve.
geometry,
Wikia
Zanuck.
dumb.
Not nonsense. Curve. We're saying if the Earth
No,
was flat,
it is nonsense.
there would be a horizon based on the diffractive limit.
It's nonsense
Earth is
because he
flat.
said
Yes.
he said the
So
fucking
either way,
horizon is
there's going to
flat.
be a horizon that is a circle around you.
Bev,
We
observe a circular horizon.
It's trying to use their reason for there being a horizon because
You should have said something about that.
Yeah, that part's irrelevant. The reason why there's a horizon, he's using their reason to describe to them why the same reason we have, that the distance to the horizon is going to be the same in all directions, same as for them. It's going to create a circle.
That's why I said that, because if it's a flat horizon, it'd be based on the diffractive limit. If it's a round sphere we're on, then the horizon is also going to be a circle around you at a certain distance.
Yeah. Uphill rivers and all of that. Yeah, of course.
No,
of course it is.
Yeah, see, Zanuck, yeah.
But the diffractive limit would be at your eye level all the way around you if it was flat. Whereas,
Whoever thought
hold on.
World War III would be battled in a Discord
Hold on.
by lazy people who don't want to find anything out about reality.
So if you have a round Earth around here, then that horizon will always be below eye level, and we see that too.
Irrelevant.
Either way, they're going to be round around you. It's a circle around you at the same angle below your eye level
No.
or at your eye level.
Not
They'll
according
always
to
be the
Bev.
same
It's a
distance,
straight
which means
line.
It's a radius.
So a
which
straight
means
line
it's
with
a
no
circle.
limit. And he can't get how in your periphery, if you're standing at a point looking at the horizon,
Is
how
it not
22
parallel
degrees
to-
one way, 22
is it not
degrees
parallel to a
the other way.
horizontal?
The distance should be
It's pretty hard work
greater.
to get that right. I mean, isn't it? the horizon is parallel to the plane of
Yes,
you said it's a
horizontals,
straight
right?
below
line.
it, but it's
Yeah,
below
of
it.
course it's a straight
But
line.
it's
It's a
below
horizontal.
it.
Parallel to
Yes,
horizontal.
it's parallel, but below it.
It's got to be. Well, yeah, because all
that-
horizontals are on a vertical data. You
This
have
has
a
been
horizontal
explained to
at
you.
any point on the
Much
vertical.
more respect than you deserve.
Wow.
If you can't get this by now, you're either just blatantly incompetent or you're just being a troll. Either way, you're boring as fuck. I would ask people to move on, do what you want.
Yeah, an inconvenient truth, we'll call it, should we?
Bev, at 30,000
Pretty shiny hook. That's a shiny hook there. Make them bait it if you're going to bite.
Bev, at 30,000 feet, the horizon curve, as you see it,
Can't
is
help
0.05 radians.
Can't help.
So is that when it's not parallel to the all horizontals aren't parallel to the horizon at a height?
No, that
It doesn't seem to say that.
would be that horizon would be parallel to a straight line, yes. By definition, because it always is a certain degree below eye level. So at 3 degrees below eye level, we have a 0.05 radian circle. That is a circle around you. I mean, if you were going to,
how do you describe a circle?
Hold on. Even though it's the exact same angle below eye level, all the way around you, in perspective, you'd have to draw it such that you would see a circle on the picture that you drew. Especially
if it's parallel to a straight line, a horizontal is parallel to the horizon.
Angle below level. The orientation perpendicular to plumb. You have a flat.
Perpendicular. Yeah, it's a straight line.
Fuck up, Zanik, you fucking twat. Why are you playing right into his fucking hands? Why are you doing this?
He's loving it. It's great.
Well, we're not. It's a very busy room, and this motherfucker just came in, talked over. Pure was fucking speaking, and this motherfucker just starts opening his yap and speaks right over him, like he's not even fucking there.
Zanik's great. I love him.
Fuck up. No, he's not.
Yeah, he's great because he'll give you every ounce of attention you fucking desire.
No, he's just said it's perpendicular to the plumb. Level's perpendicular to plumb.
Absolutely, no one fucking cares.
Well, why have you been getting so upset about it? Then? I don't know. You don't care about level being.
Oh, absolutely don't. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care. Your words are poison. You're a liar.
Well, we've got
your game playing, Bev. Because
but Jen, you've got a large audience.
To deliberately upset people are upsetting people. That's why
inconvenient truths are really upsetting to some people. I can't help it. Though.
Okay, Mr. Gore.
Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with the content of what you're saying. It's the strategy and tactics of your delivery.
Your truths are not true, Bev. That's a big problem.
We start at first principles. Is that what
Merle wanted to talk about
back
monkey
to the
dick
basics?
injection, I believe.
No,
but I'm not
it's
sure.
because you're playing games, dude.
Oh, basics of triangles and straight lines
nothing
and
to
all
do
of
with
that
any
sort
of
of
that.
stuff.
No, just your general.
Well, what else have I gone on about then? Jem? Oh, defending myself about the liars and all of the doxing stuff. Yeah.
We've been over it. We've already been over it. I
Yeah, we've
pointed
been over
out
all sorts of
I
stuff,
pointed out numerous times when you've been playing games where you're having to put on some sort of act.
For somebody who's got a
So-
Discord server, you seem to think that there's a lot of games being played. Now, I don't know whether you can see any of the games. I mean, I'm just here talking
Well, you
to
do.
you
You do know because I pointed them out to you as you've tried to play them. So you do know.
I'm not aware of me playing any games. Discussion about
of course you would say
basic
that. That's
geometry
part
and
of the
reality
game
and
that
how
you're
they
playing.
relate to each other.
This is Gem projecting. They're the ones playing games.
How am I playing a game? I don't come in here and pretend that I don't understand things and ask people to explain things to me that I already know.
You just show that you don't understand it, Jem.
I don't confuse elevation with curvature constantly, even though I
Never
know
explained what the
difference
hell
would be.
you mean there. Please explain. What's the difference between elevation and curvature?
Right now,
Go.
Jeremy, this
Go,
is
Jem.
what impresses you, Jeremy, is it? When do I do this? If this is me projecting, when do I play this game?
When have you ever explained
This is
that,
a man
what you
who's
say?
been in this argument. This is a man who's been in this argument for what? At least 3 years. And as a result
it's
of
getting
that,
more now, is
and
it?
after whatever it is, 2 years, 3 years, however long it is.
Yeah, well, actually, it's about 5. But I mean, it took
there
me,
you go. There
it
you
took
go.
me 3
So
years
why
to
did
find
you
the
object
trolls.
to 3 when I said that? Then,
Well, because in this game that we're
Jeremy?
playing, that
See,
you think we're
another
playing
little
at the minute,
game.
I
Any little
went
tricky
finding
ball.
the most horrible people that get triggered by truths.
No, you
Told
didn't.
you.
No,
Yes, I
you
did.
didn't. No.
Don't tell me what I did
I
and
will
didn't
tell
do,
you. I
Jem.
will tell you. You were a gullible twat who believed a load of bollocks on the internet, like all the other flat earthers. That's what happened.
No, Jem.
Yes.
I have a son
Yes.
who has Asperger's, and
So
I
what?
realised I
And you have
needed a
asshole.
way to help him.
Well, this
Because
would not-
he
this wouldn't be a way.
says truths.
This
and
wouldn't
people,
be a way,
people
and you
get
know it wouldn't.
upset at truths.
I think this is the way to do it, man.
So you thought, well, I'll go on the internet and lie to people.
I'll go on the
will help
internet
me
and speak
understand.
truths and
That will
find the
help
people
my
that get
son to
triggered
deal with
the
people.
most.
If I go on the internet,
I found people that got triggered by me saying level is horizontal, and they didn't just get triggered a little bit.
That's
Man,
just
they
your
got
delusion.
absolutely crazy.
That's just your
Oh my
delusion,
God!
Dad.
I can't
That
hear
isn't-
you say that.
That isn't what triggered them, like I keep pointing out.
Yeah, it was.
It's not the topic.
No.
man.
Of course it was.
It's you and
No,
the way in which
it
you,
wasn't.
you talk with people, man.
Yeah.
This
Level is
The way-
horizontal.
it was your behaviour which you have honed.
My
in
behaviour
order
of
to-
saying,
in
well,
order
wait
to
a minute,
trigger people.
I've been told level is horizontal.
We can mute him while he's talking.
Why are you saying it's not? That's what I got taught.
Let Jem respond. Stop talking over him. It's annoying.
Yeah, it was your behaviour which you have honed to trigger people that triggered people.
Right. Please explain my behaviour that you're talking about.
I have done. I've explained it repeatedly.
No, you've explained it by saying my behaviour. Well, my behaviour is speaking
No,
the
I've
truth. Yeah.
I've been into great detail for several times during this afternoon. Every time you've tried one of your little tricks,
You've just
and
said
I've
you got
witnessed
triggered
it,
to fuck
I
out of
pointed,
it.
I
Everybody
pointed it
said
out.
it.
I pointed them out. And what
right,
you're
Eve,
doing
your
now is
behaviour
just
right
more
now.
of your little
You just
trick.
say it's the trick. What trick?
Well, it is.
What
You're-
trick, Jem?
Because you've been here, you were part of the conversation that I'm referring to. Now, all of a sudden, great swathes of it you've forgotten about or didn't happen.
What are you
a trick,
talking about, Jem?
Because
You
you know that those bits of the
You're
conversation
just stating that.
did
No,
happen.
no, that was
and
you,
and
Jem.
you just want to run
you were
around
just-
and
you were
get me
just
to
lying.
run
You've
around in
forgotten about what
circles
you were
for
talking about. Why did you do that?
I haven't
Why did
forgotten
you just
about
lie
that.
about the conversation that you've just had? I mean, I don't know.
One example he gave.
What
Why
are you
you
talking
seem
about?
to have forgotten what you were talking about, Jem?
I know exactly what I was talking
You don't know.
about.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
I'll
You
tell
don't
you
even
what.
know what you said last week.
We'll
right?
make
Because
bait.
yeah, you were thinking different things last week, Jem. Obviously, weren't you?
Right. One
What are you
example he
talking
gave
about?
was the fact that you don't respond to the questions people ask you. You bring something else up and pretend like you don't have any clue on what they're talking about. You act oblivious to points that are easily understood by anybody, including you. You act like it's bad news to you.
Right, sea lioning, pretending that you've just like earlier on, right? You were pretending that the idea that the Earth was spherical had just been introduced to you. This sort of thing, that's what triggers people, Bav. It's your dishonesty. They can't always put their finger on it. I admit they get tied up and wrapped up in your daft arguments and think they're responding to those. But what triggers people is you and your behavior. And you know that because you're behaving in a way that you hope will trigger people. That's what you're doing. You know you're doing it. I know you're doing it. And now you know that I know you're doing it. So maybe stop doing it. But of course you can't because it's all you've got.
Yeah, I know now that the truth triggers you, Jem.
And that's another tactic.
Yeah, just more of your silly game.
Yeah, truth.
More bait,
Speaking
more
truth
bait.
to Jem Panda.
Yeah, dude, it's like you
Again,
ignore-
I pointed out it's not about the content of what you're saying, it's your behavior. And we've given you, Kosho provided with a few examples, I've provided you with more of the type of behavior that triggers people. Not your killer argument, It's you deliberately trying to make people angry and then going, oh, they got angry. And actually drawing a conclusion about the shape of the earth from that. You're an idiot.
This is me speaking truth.
Why do you keep
inconvenient
muting me?
truth?
Because it's the only way I can talk uninterrupted.
Let me just lie over the top of me, right? I'm happy with that.
Call it lies
It's
if you
not
want
a lie.
to. Anyone can see what's going on, Bev.
You just behaviour. What
why I'm
behaviour?
pointing it out to them.
Are you
so
the
that they
model
can see it.
citizen
Holy
of behaviour?
fucking shit. After
There
Jim,
you go
after
again.
Jim
More
just
of
went
your
through
trick.
and
We've
told you
what
every
behaviour. The sea lining, the word games. We pointed those out to you. And we get to, and at the end of it, when we've had the conversation about that thing, you go, what behaviour? What do you mean? What behaviour? That's just more of the behaviour. Because we've just told you about the behaviour. But now you don't know about the behaviour. That's the behaviour.
What do you mean by sea lining?
Go on, explain to everybody what sea lining is, Jem. Go on.
That was a good impression from Moyak.
Go on.
Predictive.
You're a joke, lad.
Tell everyone what sea lining is, Jem.
I have done already.
They may not know because it's been made up
Well,
just
they should
recently
do.
on the
They
internet,
should do
hasn't
because
it?
I've said it earlier. Said it earlier on, so they should know.
Go on, what is it then?
Why are you
Because it's
pretending
some
you
sort
don't
of a
know?
behaviour tactic that I've had apparently
Yeah.
talking to people on a
Well,
debate.
do you know
server.
what it is? Do you know what it is?
No, I haven't got a clue.
Really?
Absolutely. Why would I need to know what sea lining is? It sounds like some perverted sexual procedure. I mean, is it?
Oh, you just said it
That
had
says a
recently
lot
been
about
made
you.
up on. You just said it had recently been made up on the internet. Now, apparently, you've never heard of it before. More of your game, more lies. Either you've heard of it before, or you haven't. These two things can't be true. One of them must be a lie, Bev. Which one is it?
This is your chance, Jem. Tell us what it is, please.
No, I'm not going to jump through your
You
hoops.
don't know what it is. It's just a made-up word, then, right? You've just recently made it
Yes,
up.
it has a
Oh my God.
He knows if
what
you
it
want
is.
to pretend that
Yeah.
that's true, you can, but you're that's just silly. You know it is.
Anybody else think it's some perverted sex position thing that he's talking about?
No, it would be cool if it was, though, but it's not.
What would make
Unfortunately,
somebody
it's
go to that
nothing to
thought
do
in
with
the
sex.
first place? I wonder.
Okay. So what
Here
is
you
it
go.
then?
Here
What
you
is
go.
it?
It's written
Please
down
explain.
for you. Read it up. Read it up. It's in the chat.
Please.
There you go.
Go on.
There you go.
I'm a harassment technique. Have I come in
there
here
for you.
harassing? Is that what it is?
Jesus Christ.
You're
Bev,
doing it
read the
right
whole
now. You
fucking
can't even
thing.
read the fucking
This is
definition
harassment
without
to you
harassing
guys.
us.
Wow, you guys are
Read the whole
snowflakes.
definition.
This could be a description of Bev.
Absolutely, isn't it? Sea
Yeah,
lining.
harassing people.
Well,
in
Farmers
the
Boys is
debate
better.
server.
Right, let's shut the fucker up. Okay.
Do you like
Sea
my version
lining-
better?
Hang on. Sea lining is a harassment tactic by which a participant in a debate or online discussion pesters the other participant with disingenuous questions under the guise of sincerity, hoping to erode the patience or goodwill of the target to the point where they appear unreasonable. Often, sea lining involved asking for evidence for even basic claims. The term comes from a webcomic depicting a sea lion engaging in such behavior. This is a perfect description of what you're doing. Let's read Farmer's one then. A
It's other
subtle
known as
form of
Bevan.
trolling involving bad faith questions. You disingenuously frame your conversation as a sincere request to be enlightened, placing the burden of educating you entirely on the other party. What's that say? If your bait is successful, the other party may engage painstakingly, laying out their logic and evidence in the false hope of helping someone learn. In fact, you are attempting to harass or waste the time of the other party and have no intention of truly entertaining their point of view. Instead, you react to each piece of information by misinterpreting it or requesting further clarification ad nauseum. The name sea lining comes from a Wondermark comic strip.
Sounds like you, Jim.
It sounds exactly like that.
Yeah,
Perfect description of Bev.
I don't think
and
that
the
sounds like me
percentage.
at all. I mean,
And
I've
the
said I can give
percentage
you
as well.
proof. I can take you through a proof, Jem.
Endlessly asking for another piece of evidence.
No, I'm just saying here, you guys keep asking me questions. I don't ask you for evidence. I know you haven't got any. It'd be fruitless fucking asking you guys for anything.
Constantly, you want almost every word that's said to you needs
No,
to
I
be
just ask for
explained.
clarification. That's all I ever do.
In bad faith.
Go back and listen.
Yes, in bad faith.
You never give the clarification. That's pretty bad faith, isn't it?
Just like you jumped on the harassment. Harassment technique. When have I harassed? You?
Yeah, do you seriously think
Yeah.
I'm harassing you coming in here?
Yes, absolutely.
yes.
Those
Wow.
descriptions of sea lining are a perfect description.
Anybody
of a large,
that comes in here.
Why are you talking? Those descriptions of sea lining are a perfect description of a large part of your tactic, your strategy, Bev. It's a perfect description of it. So yes, you are harassing people. You know you are. This is what gets people angry.
Beta male kind of a statement.
And
Jim.
Snowflakes,
That
right?
was super snowflake.
The part that says,
Right there.
you're real quiet, that's you. The part that says hoping to erode the patience or goodwill of the target to the point that they appear unreasonable. This is the exact reason why you're recording right now.
Oh, did you have goodwill here? Did you?
Recording this conversation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
right,
up with
right.
that?
Yeah, based on the thing I just stated.
Being broadcast
Reason I
live,
just-
right? Isn't it?
Yeah, for the reason I just stated.
It's
Yeah.
Well, it's
It's a
being
description
broadcast
of-
live. Yeah.
Once again, which is describing you to a T.
So
What,
a man
because-
telling you a straight line doesn't curve is harassing you somehow.
Well,
yeah, the snowflakes.
Hold on, Essie. Hold on. You heard the me read out those two descriptions, I hope. Or if you didn't, you can see them written. Can you see how that behavior is triggering? The behavior that
Yeah,
they're hang on. The behavior that is being described in these descriptions.
Yes, but I don't see Bev doing that.
So
He
why
even offered you that he
really
can prove to you that he
you
has
honestly think Bev isn't doing what these descriptions describe?
You're perceiving it as such, but he just told you that he has
So
proof.
you think all of his questions, when he pretended that he'd never heard that the Earth was spherical before, you think that that was genuine? He'd never actually heard the idea that the Earth was spherical. That was a new
There,
idea.
He could have been pulling your leg there. Come on.
Yeah,
now,
when
Jim.
was that, Jen?
Oh no!
If he said that,
Okay,
When
so
did you say that?
Come on.
Earlier
you just
on,
proved
it
this
was
point.
part of our
Earlier on.
conversation.
How much earlier on, Jen?
When we were talking about England.
Do you want to get us the quote of that?
No, I don't.
No. It might have been a two-dimensional surface of a sphere that you're getting confused with, right? Might it? Perhaps? I don't know.
Are you saying?
Just admitted to purposely or to recording this, and you said earlier the reason why one of the evidences you believe is a globe or a flat Earth is because of the talking in the way that
I've said, Jem, please don't do that. I've said it's not flat, observably and provably.
See,
So
that's-
I didn't
you
say
guys
that.
use-
We're
He
talking
says
about
repeatedly.
when we say
Repeatedly, he
when
says
we
that.
say flat Earth, we're talking about the definition that everyone else in the world uses,
So you
not
keep
your
sea-lining the
not
same
your
thing.
personal idiotic one that you use to
Over and over.
to add more sea lining.
So you're
I know, like
misrepresenting him
Nick
right
said,
there,
right?
Jim. You're
He says
misrepresenting him.
they think
well, we then
that
have to explain
anyone
the word.
that says level
We
is
then end
horizontal
up-
is a flat earther. I
We
know
then
that.
end up, we're in a conversation with a guy who's been part of this community for 5 years, and we have to explain
Sorry,
the
Jem,
term.
Jem,
and we have to explain
Jem, this
the term.
community. What?
and-
Not
and-
this community, no. Or do you just mean the community of everybody on the internet? Is that like that community? Is that what we're talking about?
this is what we've been talking about.
So,
man. It's right here, man.
yeah, a guy that's been in this community for 5 years, and again, this is like a new idea to him. I mean, you can't pretend that. Well, I don't know. You cannot pretend that this isn't sea lining. It's just
2
silliness.
years, Jem, not 5. Told you.
No, you
I did
corrected
3
me to
years
5.
on Twitter before
corrected me to
I
5.
hit upon somebody who called me a child abuser for saying level doesn't rise to your eyes.
But
Yeah.
after hanging around with all these people for all this time, he still doesn't understand what's meant by the term flat Earth. and it has to be explained to him. Every time, probably 20, 30 times, I've heard it explained to him.
But he doesn't subscribe to that.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He doesn't subscribe
Hold
to
on,
that.
hold on. It doesn't matter if he subscribes to that or not. He knows what people are saying. He knows what they mean. Listen. He knows how that term is usually used. Not usually used, in fact, always used. He knows how it's used. But every time he pretends, I thought it meant no mountains and valleys. Oh, that's sea lioning.
Yeah. You're muting to talk about me, right? Is that what you normally do?
No, I mute you because you talk constantly underneath me, and that is annoying.
Yeah, well, you
again,
mute me
that's
so
something
you can
you're
talk
doing
about
deliberately.
me.
That's something you're doing deliberately, and you know you are.
Well, whenever you talk shit about me,
Specifically
yeah,
to
I
be
like
annoying.
to have the right to say, no, you're talking shit, Jem.
Well,
You're
you
just
can.
making shit up.
I'm not.
Well, you need to wait till he's done talking to do that.
Right.
You're always talking shit, Bev. Does that mean we should always be talking over you? That's what I'm hearing from you right now. No.
I just state facts that you don't like.
So did I.
You guys talk about personalities and people, don't you?
Well, if you
No,
don't
I'm
like
talking
it,
about your
other people's
behavior.
thoughts.
Bev,
that
that
you
you
can
talking about your
deny.
behavior, Jeff.
Talking about your
Names.
behavior, Bev. Your
Jin.
tactics.
Look at that. I called you Jin. You're so dumb.
The tactics that you require to survive in this.
Why don't you guys understand that we're three-dimensional? We're at a three-dimensional horizontal baseline. You quit calling us flat earthers, we'd be fine.
That's not a tactic you want to adopt, dude.
It's the rusty knight riding in to save him.
Inconvenient truths.
Listen, everybody understands that flat earther doesn't mean flat. It doesn't mean that. They mean not a globe. Everyone knows that flat earthers believe in mountains and valleys and oceans and depths and heights. Okay, everyone knows this. So
It's not just that. There's so much derp, unfortunately, associated with it as well, and propaganda that barely any of the people still around who even talk about it want to be associated with any of it. That's just truth.
I'm not surprised.
that's not because of the name. That's because of the idea. That's because of what. This was what they believe. What flat earthers.
It's totally loaded though. Like if you came out and said, people go, "You flat earther," and then you'll go, "Yeah," that they might not stop talking to you.
Yeah, but that wouldn't change once you told them what you believed and said, "Actually, not a flat earther. I'm this," and then you replace this.
What
with,
you say? I'm a flat earther, but I'm not a flat earther. I think you're crazy, dude. That's like saying straight lines are straight, but then they're curved as well.
That's what you heard.
Brilliant argument.
Yeah, bro. If that person replaced the word flat earther and said, "No, I'm not a flat earther. I'm this," then they replaced this with everything that they believe as a flat earther. That person who thought that it was a crazy idea would not change their opinion. They're not going to be like, "Oh, that's what you believe. I thought you believed something different." They would have already assumed what you believe, and they would have think it's just as crazy because it's the same thing.
No,
Level
it
is
doesn't.
horizontal, dude.
Just one more bit of. It doesn't go like that. Like there's a bunch of us talking about this now. Like we don't want to be associated with it. It's hard to shake it at first, but people don't do that. They don't go, "What do you believe?" and then assess you for errors and start scanning your brain and testing your DNA to see if you've got a logical. That just doesn't work like that.
That was a scenario you described. You described a person.
I'm saying that there's a bunch.
You say you're a flat earther person.
There's a bunch of people now after 6 years. Some of them, that are well and truly realizing they're in a belief system on every level. And that's real news. Like I'm talking from Big Bang to evolution, creation, Jesus walking, the whole bit. It's not just the shape.
I mean, well, I mean, my question would be, what do these people expect to achieve by debating concepts, their concepts? What do they expect to achieve by debating their concepts? Mel, what do they expect to achieve?
Well, that's really where it is, Spurs, because we've all witnessed the debates, and I think it comes down to human rights at the end of the day, that people have the right to see. It's like faith, isn't it? Like, people leave that alone because
What do you
it's
mean
in that
human
category.
rights? Don't move to something else. How is
That's where this seems to be leading.
What, it's a
It's
human
like
right.
almost
It's a human
on the
rights
level-
violation.
It's like almost on the level of thought crimes. As soon as you start stepping outside of the mainstream narrative, you're categorized as
this is
crazy,
something that has to do
insane,
with
illogical.
what can be shown to be evidently true.
And then
I do
there's
think
like
that there's some parallels, definitely, to what he's saying. Sure, it's dangerous, and it's the ultimate, battle that's been going on forever. It's control, and if you can, take less individual thought, you can take individual thought away from people, and or at least action of that thought. If you make the action of any thoughts punishable, those people will stop having thoughts like that. So then you end up having people who only think one way.
They can think whatever they want.
Yeah.
They have a right to fucking be stupid their entire life. That's fine. But you know as well as I do, Twit, that like some of this should be taught in schools and blah blah blah. No, what can be shown to be evidently true should be taught in an education system.
And you have no proof for a globe.
And
Also,
truth requires honesty.
Yeah. So,
and the evidence is there. Denial of evidence doesn't mean that evidence hasn't been presented.
Hold on,
These memes too powerful again, are they?
I think the thought crimes thing, because people are allowed to think whatever they like, and people are allowed to have any crazy ideas that they like.
As long as they don't express them.
No.
That's
no. Don't assume what I'm going to say. Just let me say what I'm going to say real quick. I'm saying that people are allowed to have any thought that they want, any idea they want, and then other people are allowed to judge that based however they like. Both people have the freedoms to do that. I don't think that anything should be like they shouldn't be restricted in thinking that way at all. But I think that the response that we're having, which is responding to them sharing their belief or opinion, is perfectly just as allowable as the other.
Oh, I would disagree. I do think that if we want to keep it close to flat Earth here, I heard somebody representing the globe Earth side say that these people should not be able to reproduce, and he means it.
Yeah,
I've asked other people if they meant it, and they mean it. They don't think they should reproduce.
That's his opinion.
So,
Isn't that okay?
That's fine. That's fine if that's the opinion. But when that opinion is a part of the group, whichever there's two sides, right? And there's one side that holds this kind of opinion within its group. And who's to say that doesn't become the dominant opinion of the whole group if we follow a certain path, right? The steps you take now are determining where you're going in the future as a group.
Yeah, people listen to Jem, don't they? People listen to the leaders.
Respect.
My point is that
I'm the one that said that, and I wholeheartedly believe because that's
it wasn't you that I was talking about.
I have said it, but don't.
Okay.
Somebody's blaming it on Jem, and I've never heard Jem say that, but I have said it, and you're goddamn right. I believe that. Me, nobody else. I don't care what anybody else believes. I believe that because children shouldn't be put in a dangerous situation that would hinder their ability to learn.
I disagree with that, but that's what I'm saying is, this is just these are our personal beliefs but that are a response to their beliefs, and all that should be allowed.
We shouldn't lie to children, should we? Definitely not. That would be bad.
All you guys have is beliefs.
Yeah, but Kosho, at what point do we say that's the dangerous thinking? Do you understand? Thinking that people you are hold you and your collective, your majority, or should be able to decide if people are qualified to be children producers or qualified to
be
speak
parents.
or have
We
a
have that. We
yeah.
have that standard. Things that put children in danger. We have that standard.
Yeah, but
in
you're
a first
saying
world
that
country.
this is a danger. Their thoughts are a danger.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that idea, and I never have, because if we're going to go, if you're going to follow that through to its logical conclusion, I'm an atheist. Almost everyone in the world teaches their children something that I think is nonsense. So, where does it end? It isn't for us to say what people teach their children. Where I think we do have a say is when they start telling other people's children, unsolicited,
there you go,
that stuff. Then I think we have a reason to
Right, like when they tell people they live on a ball.
Yeah.
That's totally
But
wrong.
that's not. But that isn't unsolicited, is it?
Yes, it is. Unfounded,
because
right?
you send it. People send their children to school. They choose to do that. They know that is one of the things.
No,
that
yeah, they
children
have
will
to
be-
do that in this
will be
country, don't they,
taught.
Jem?
So,
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. You can teach your children at home. It's quite easy to do that in our country.
But it's unneeded.
As long as you qualify, you have to prove yourself capable of teaching your child before you can do it.
No, you don't. No,